lasso from Whaler. Really good fear usage here. Double binding shots done. Big opportunity to take down Nick and start trying to end his reign. This is kind of a determining lobby as to around whether or not Whaler runs away with it or Nick can possibly run away with this lobby. Whaler into a Cyclone. Paradise getting blasted. Big Star Surge damage onto him. He's down at half. Solar Beam on the healer. Can he freedom him out of the Solar Beam? Looks like he does manage to escape, but Aspect of the Turtle was traded regardless. Renner's got his team in a good position, looking very healthy, all at full health, getting ready to make what could be the final push. Whaler's running out of cooldowns. Void Shift really the last remaining one. He's got to be really careful. If he's rotted low to dot damage, he's not going to be able to swap his health over to his ally. Stun onto Renner. They get the freezing trap, but it looks like it ends up breaking, so they're not really going to get any pressure there. They've got damage onto Oz at least, so they do get Astral Shift, trying to keep their dreams alive. Typhoon onto the clone of a Brua, into a bash. Nick shutting down a Brua. Whaler tries to turn it around with a fear into a binding shot. Nick's going to bark skin it as they are just trading in the middle of the map. Cyclone and Renner, but it's on DR. A full clone onto a Brua. Whaler has to pop Rapture, but we're at 41% dampening. The healing is going to be significantly reduced. If Whaler can somehow hold on, he does have the mana advantage.
All right, let's see. It's going to be the Vigil coming in from Nick, trying to assist Rainer's heals just a little bit. Whaler, though, gets caught into a capstone. Huge amount of damage. That's going to be the Void Shift. He's caught into a bash. Can they take him down? A full Cyclone lands. Paradise 1 is in a lot of trouble. He's doing what he can to stay alive, but the crowd control onto Whaler. Big Pendant's going to be landing, and that's actually going to top off Paradise. Beautiful heals incoming there from Whaler, but his entire team is just rotting down. Solar Beam connects there onto Whaler. Ultimate Penitence, but they need to get in line of sight. The Ultimate Penitence, they're line of sight again. Nick is rotting down. Oz is rotting down. Such an unbelievable amount of pressure coming in from a Brua. Then Paradise 1. Rainer, what are you going to do? He gets caught into the stun. Can he keep Nick alive? Somehow Nick is still holding on by a thread, but the fear lands. Shadow where Death connects Penance as well. Whaler, beautifully done. He actually outmanas Rainer, so very interesting there. He's got 13 seconds on Life Cocoon. They need the Life Cocoon. Meat Monk has to buy a little bit more time. At the same time, though, Vanguards could easily fall in this situation. Pain Suppression trades here by JT. Dark Magician is just on the run. Gelu trying to escape. He's got the Hellstone. They got the Life Cocoon. Can they trade it? I think they're going to be able to do it if he can connect that Life Cocoon. He's a massive shield, even in dampening. Jamili forced into the Ice Block at 10% health. His health is going nowhere but down. Glacial Spike, though, they're going for it. Can they take down Dark Magician? Leg sweep. At the same time, Vanguards might go down. It is a race to the finish. And it looks like Gelu and Existence and Meep will pull ahead, but that was as close as it gets.
Oh man, that paralyzed on the mage. If Jamili was able to get some cast off there, that could have been a tie round, I think, at least. Maybe even a lead round for them. But I think Mage Ret has to be the weakest comp in the lobby. So this is going to be the real test. They didn't get a win with that comp there, so Vanguard is in a tough spot. If he has to fight Ret Warrior, which is typically really good, right? But not in a Mage Lock. So this is looking like a rough lobby for Vanguard. Mage Ret, just no real good synergy. And then Ret Warrior in this specific matchup looks really tough. Let's see if they can get it done with Meep. But I would argue that a Monk Healer is even worse for this type of matchup. Oh no, the Ice Wall immediately isolates Vanguards from Meep. Meep is trying to get back in line of sight just in time as Vanguards takes a huge hit. Shield of Vengeance comes through. And now I would imagine that Gelu is very warmed up. He's already got his gateway up top, his portal in position, and he is ready to kite and run laps. Existence leaps over to reconnect onto the Warlock on the high ground. Vanguards is splitting DPS onto the Mage, but Meep's into a fear. Sanctuary comes through and gets him out of that crowd control as soon as possible. Double Shadow Fury, big Glacial. Shatter going to connect, and Meep's out in the open. If he gets crowd controlled here, it is so dangerous. He's got a Warlock behind him and a Mage in front of him, just waiting to get a full fear or get a full polymorph at any moment. Hammer Justice onto the Priest. Vanguard is trying to boldly go where no Ret has gone before, which is attacking a Frost Mage. Is he going to be able to? Meat Monk has to Trinket and Life Cocoon. He's swapping back to the Warlock. They grip the Warlock. He's actually out of range of his port now. If they notice that, they might be able to get some pressure onto the Warlock here. He's continuing to move further away from his port. He's got to get back in range of it. He's trying to, but he's waddling his way over and taking a lot of damage on his way there. Double Frozen Orb. Jamili is just shattering Ice Lances and Flurries onto two targets, cleaving them as the Priest is moving forward. Oh, Ring of Peace knocks the Warlock down. Beautiful utility from Meep. They need to feed that Warlock into the Ret Paladin as much as possible. It's all just about holding the Ret Paladin's hand and trying to get him to the target as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely exactly what you need to be doing here, but the Ret Paladin is quite ferocious during this Avenging Wrath, so we'll see what he can get done. Got the damage ready to go, but this Ray of Frost from Jamili could be absolutely devastating. Beautiful stun there by Gelu. Shield of Vengeance is going to be used there by Vanguards, and that is a big defensive for him. He's got the Divine Shield, but does not want to have to trade it. When you're on that Ret Paladin, you want to be able to save these immunity cooldowns for the late game, 50, 60% dampening, and your second Avenging Crusader. So that's going to be the most important thing. Vanguard's holding on to his defensives and then making a big all-in push when dampening is high.
Oh, Meep is owning right now. He's seeing the priest upstairs all by himself. Almost nets the kill onto the Warlock right there. He knocks the priest out of the line. Panda ratios him into a sweep, but now he's in a full polymorph. Meep is doing everything that he can to get Vanguard's his first win in this lobby and take the lead for himself in this for the healer role, and they're so close to a kill. Not a lot of options left. Void Shift is imminent, I think, or a barrier at least. They're trying to get distance. Double frozen, triple frozen orb from Jamili.
Oh,
He's
big
cleaving the whole
damage.
team right now. That's going to force, I believe, revival from Meep. There's a big heal onto the whole team. Big shatter onto Vanguards. He still has Divine Shield. He's trying to stay aggressive, breaking the crowd control chains.
Oh,
Big
no.
damage onto the Warlock. Can they pull it off? Void Shift comes through. Vanguards has to bubble. Cooldowns back and forth. That was a Void Shift and a barrier. Demonic Gateway gets relayed as he gates to the stairs, ports away from the leap, but they are going all in. Vanguards is committing at this point, just at half health. Is he going to jump down there and go for the kill or not? Ultimate Penitence is topping the team. Ice Wall, line of sighting Meep. They get a DR'd Fear. Can they finish it? Ray of Frost fully channeled, but it gets life cocooned. Now the Warlock in so much trouble. Pain Suppression's available. They got to trade this Pain Suppression. If there's any damage at all, Pain Suppression is still available. No, Stormbolt, Pain Suppression. He ports upstairs. Demonic Tyrant has the high ground. That Demonic Tyrant's going to do a lot of damage. Who's it going after? Looks like Vanguards, but actually not connecting too much as we see the Warlock trying to kite away, trying to get distance. If they can pull this off, it would be absolutely insane. Shockwave, the Warriors getting uptime. Vanguards is going after the Priest, splitting some DPS and just trying to get pressure without taking damage. They know they don't want to commit damage to the Warrior, so they're overextending the Warrior and holding the Paladin back, and now they're committing. He ports back up. Can they knock the Warlock down? Do they have a Ring of Peace? It doesn't look like it. Full Fear's coming through, breaks to the Frozen Orb. They're swapping damage to the Priest. They're going on to the Disc Priest. He gates back upstairs. They relay the gateway, but the Warrior Heroic leaves. Bladestorm cleaving everybody on the high ground. Vanguards is still stuck downstairs, though. The Warlock jumps. He gets grip, and now Vanguards is there. The Warlock can connect. This might be a misplay. Huge pressure as Vanguards is going to town, and Vanguards does it. Double kill.
Happen in
And
these
Meatmonk
particular
takes a
compositions. I want to say that I favor Chaz here. Like, Crusader's going to be a lot more susceptible to the Mage crowd control than Chaz is really going to be in this match, but we'll see. I think if Crusader wants to win this one, he's going to actually have to play really, really aggressive. Go for crowd control chains on Chaz, kind of...
Oh!
My goodness gracious! Jamili almost getting one shot there in the opener. Now big setup here onto Oz. Smoke Bomb drops down. Can they take him down? He will be using that Burrow, that new PvP talent, and now a blind onto Chaz, so... Good crowd control here by Calvish. Gets the full kidney shot there. Just go, go, go. Calvish on that rogue is just an absolute menace.
He's all over the map. Nobody is safe, and this is why he's winning so many rounds over and over and over. But the Warrior is isolated there in the middle of the map, and is he going to be able to connect and stay alive? As Crusader is charging in aggressively, he's in the middle of the map. He could be polymorphed or even swapped to. It looks like they want to attack the Paladin a bit, knocking back the Warrior, knocking back the Paladin, and Crusader is playing so aggressive. He's just running in the middle of the map. It's Maldraxxus Coliseum. It's Mage Ellie, big map, and he's still just trying to be aggressive. Calvish is going for a solo kill on the Ellie. Magnus leaps over and gets a Fear. It's covered with a cheap shot. Massive damage incoming. Oz could just die almost through the Astral Shift, and this is such an unorthodox comp. Rogue and Warrior typically never really play together ever throughout the history of the game, and they're making it work in this first round of the solo shuffle. Die by the Sword going to be forced on the Warrior as we see Ellie Mage beginning to fight back. Chaz getting swapped to by Magnus here, but he's getting punished. I don't think he's going to be able to keep pushing. He goes into D-stance on the Glacial Spike. The Shatter combo is going to connect. The Kidney Shot Jamili. Crusader is charging in again, trying to get on top of the Druid, trying to keep damage going out onto Jamili, but he's going to get punished, caught into a polymorph. Big swap onto Chaz. No trinket for him, but they hex the Rogue, and that hex breaks up the stun lock, and he's going to be fine. They Stormbolt Oz. They swap to him in the corner, and Crusader actually trinkets. He goes for the Blinding Light. They're going for the win. They have to win right now on the Ellie Shaman. They have to connect. They get a gouge out of the blind, but polymorphs are good from Jamili, denying a lot of damage onto Oz right now. They needed to kill in that CC chain. And that's why Crusader used the trinket. He saw no opportunities for them to break free, but it's not enough CC and not enough damage. He still does have Divine Shield and Sacrifice for another chain in the future. Mana is at least even. And we see a Kidney Shot swap on Chaz. Smoke Bomb. They edge the Smoke Bomb. Ring of Frost. Is he going to go down? They need more stuns. One more. No, he cap stuns it. Is he going to survive? Jamili blinks in with the Dragon's Breath, but it doesn't matter. Calvish and Magnus just chomp him up. Broccoli is going to be great vitamins for them here on game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how you got to play it, right? You got to kind of throw caution to the wind. I like the way Crusader played this one, aggressive positioning, but I can't help but feel like this is going to be another lobby for Calvish. The only thing that's very interesting, though, is do you feel like Paladins are actually decent into sub-rogues? Like, being able to use Blessing of Protection and the Blessing of Sacrifice to kind of block the goes.
About. I think Paladins like the best healer into Rogues and Hunters, specifically. Yeah. I think they have really good tools, pre-sacrificing. Like, they're tough to CC. Like, you need a strong opener. They get a cheap shot, but no crowd control out of it, it looks like. Oz's defensive positioning, so not too much here. Cyclones onto the Mage. They're going after the Warrior, it looks like. At the moment, he gets disarmed. He's not able to connect, and we see Magnus continuing to charge forward. We're going to have to see if he can live up to the name Tractor Daddy and see if he can farm the broccolis.
Chaz is getting swapped to over and over in these games. He's going to have to play an excellent game of defense, but a full kidney shot does land here on the Crusader. And it looks like Magnus so far is getting a lot of pressure out in this match, getting damage out on Oz, getting damage out on Chaz. I like the fact that they're swapping around. Jamili taking a little bit of burst damage right now. Needs to be careful. Down to about 40% health. That's going to be a sacrifice to block the attack. Nicely done there by Crusader, keeping his team in the fight. Hammer of Justice and a potential Ring of Frost, unable to find it, and Chaz is free to just bomb out heals in that Incarnation Tree of Life. And I think his team has basically no shot of dying during that cooldown.
All right, Calvish moving in. Dragon's Breath on Chaz. No polymorph, though. Calvish gets a cheap shot. Chaz gets a clone onto the Warrior. Jamili getting blasted. Huge damage. That was lay. He died through lay on hands. Oh, my God. He had the ice block as well. That is massive. The shadowy duel from Calvish got huge value right there. Just always on point. I mean, we talk about Peekaboo, how at his start, remember when Peekaboo was like 14 years old at LAN competing and beating people? And now Calvish, I feel like, is like the next step up for Subtlety Rogue players to try and level up to Peekaboo's legacy throughout time. And he's really living up to the Subtlety Rogue name right now in these two solo shuffle tournaments, winning the first one and now just dominating. See what he can get done in the remainder of this one. His healer is lower on mana, though, so he will have to carry with pressure and setup, I think. The Paladin is winning in that regard. Tractor Daddy's looking to try and farm Chaz with that Blade Storm, picking him up with those chopper blades. Kidney shot. Oh, beautiful kidney shot on his casted
Oh, nice
heal.
Dragon's Breath.
But the dragon, he needs to get there for the gouge. He goes for the blind. They need to stop Crusader from casting. He needs to get that Tears Deliverance up, and he knows it. He actually just Divine Shields so he can get his casts off. Searing Glare and Tears Deliverance. He has to get Hand of Divinity off, and this way he'll be able to heal Jamili forever. But Calvish is overextending. Has to be careful. Cloak Shadows on the Ray of Frost. Magnus is peeling back, looking to assist Jamili, but now he's overextended as he's pushing forward. Kidney shot onto the healer. Hex onto the Mage. Warrior targeted down. Disarms the Rogue, denying a lot of damage. Oz is just blasting in Lava Burst from the corner, but that Ring of Frost is preventing his team from pushing in with them as they charge over for a double Shockwave. Nice play from Magnus here, stacking him up for a double Blizzard. Beautiful cleave. Glacial Spike gets step kicked by Calvish into a cheap shot. Gouge on the Pally.
Huge damage.
Massive damage. Is he going to go down? No blocks available, but two bops are sitting in his back pocket. He's into a kidney shot. He's trying to be greedy. Die by the sword. Calvish taking a lot of damage. On the run. May have to evasion. Chaz procs that Tree of Life. And he's looking to try and recover. And those Omen of Clarity procs, the only reason he can heal is to Trinket the Storm. But big swap. And Magnus is chewing up Chaz. Those are some big gains. 2 games in a row against the Resto Druid, just eating him alive.
Wow, okay. Crusader up 2-0 in these games so far. And once again, it's been really interesting to see Shamans just not having a good day. Like, the Elemental Shamans have not been able to pick up many wins. The Restoration Shamans have not been able to pick up many wins. We'll see if Oz is going to be able to get it done. Now playing the Elemental Shaman Holy Paladin Arms Warrior. So a good composition, but guess what they're going up against? Mage Rogue Druid. So you actually have 2 really standard compositions going head-to-head in this one. Both these teams are going to be using comms more than likely, so this should be a really interesting match.
Oh, Jamili gets the Dragon's Breath. Cheap shot on the Ellie. Triple crowd control. This is an insane start. Jamili's just laying in. Ray of Frost fully channeled. Forces the burrow. He might die through it. Smoke bomb offensively on the Pally. Preventing his line of sight. He bubbles, but it doesn't matter. That smoke bomb was insane. Oh my God, they got styled on. That is what happens when Chaz, Jamili, and Calvish, a team that would never normally play together. Oh my God, that was clean.
Yeah. Mage Rogue's pretty good. That was absurd. I mean, Calvish comes in with a smoke bomb. I'm pretty sure when he got near the edge of the smoke bomb, he went for a shadowy duel as well. So Oz is just in a 1v1 there. I don't know if he had Burrow. Like, maybe he could have had some defensives to survive, but maybe he felt like if he overcommitted, they would have just lost anyways. But definitely a really good push there by Jamili, Chaz, and Calvish. And so far, it's still kind of just been Strawman struggling in this tournament.
All right, let's see if they can get some wins here in round number 4. Calvish starting out on the Warrior, cheap shots. Jamili blinks back. Polymorph on the Rogue, denying damage. Magnus charges in. The swap on Chaz. He's going to bark skin right away. Magnus peels back. Intervene, disarm, protecting the druid. Trying to keep him alive here in this position, but they're still tearing in. He gets that Tree of Life. Calvish is going to swap off the Tree of Life. Go after Jamili. Keep pressure on the mage. He knows the Glacial Spike and Polymorphs are a threat. Kicks the poly. Gouges the spike. Precog proc for Jamili. Is he going to find the Glacial here? Calvish steps over behind the pillar, looking to set up on Chaz. Can he actually kill him through tree form here? Kidney shot. Big setup. Huge damage. No bark skin. Crusader's getting soloed by Jamili, though. Is he going to go down? He's getting pressured so heavily, and Jamili will just do this. I feel like he's one of the few mages. He'll just randomly target the healer and try and go after him. I feel like it's only Jamili and Mitch Jones are the mages that I see do this throughout history of Arena, where they'll just target a healer by themselves and try and kill them. But it might actually work on Maldraxxus, given that Crusader is often pushing in really aggressively. Kidney shot onto Jamili, swap over onto Chaz, but a Stormbolt from Magnus pre-hits the swap, so Chaz gets time to get in bear form. Is he going to die through bear form? He's got pre-Armbark bear. There's no way. He intervenes over, but now they're swapping off the intervene to the warrior. They force die by the sword. They're killing him through die by the sword. What is happening? Searing Glare from Crusader hits the whole team and denies Calvish's kill there on the shadowy duel. That was an insane Searing Glare on the duel through line of sight, so Calvish's finishing moves wouldn't hit Magnus. That was really clutch.
Yeah, nicely done. Ice Wall drops down. Big setup here. Can they take down Calvish? Beautiful Ice Wall. Double Sunlock coming in here from Magnus, but it looks like Calvish has weathered the storm. Crusader gets in line of sight and drops a sacrifice to keep him alive. So good cooldowns trade here by team number one. Team number two still looking good, though. This Warrior Mage Resto Druid is looking solid so far, and Oz has been kind of struggling to find pressure on that Elemental Shaman, but he has been a great target to kind of go after in this match. See what happens. Calvish steps over, looking for a setup here onto Magnus. Can they take him down? There's the Smoke Bomb. Ring of Frost is going to be used by Jamili as he shimmers in for a Dragon Thrust, trying to slow down the damage just a little bit. Beautiful Ice Nova into a Stormbolt. Great peels, stopping that setup. And now it's going to be Calvish in trouble. Blessing and Protection preemptively trades to keep Calvish alive, but this is his Shadowy Blades. He wants to get really aggressive. Jamili finally purges off the Blessing and Protection. They're going after Chaz. Can they do a big setup onto the Resto Druid? Once again, Glacial Spike being channeled out. That gets shut down. Shadow Step Kick overlapped with the Earthshock, or the Wind Shear. That's going to be more than enough to slow down Jamili at the same time, though. Big setup here onto Magnus. Do they have the damage to take him down? The triple Sheep Shot will fade. Intervene over onto Jamili, as still Calvish and Oz are looking to find damage, and they finally are finding pressure in this match.
Oh, Calvish gets spiked there, and it looks like he's going to walk it off. Chaz in tree form, free healing, mana advantage to Crusader, evasion is up. Magnus is just going to get aggressive onto the Ellie Shaman. Calvish is still going after the mage. Shadowy Duel comes up in 12 seconds and there's no blocks. He can 100-0 Jamili in like 9 seconds here with Cloak of Shadows offensively if he wants to. So that is where the kill window is right now. They're going to stun Calvish, try and block the kill. Ice Wall comes down, line of sight in Crusader. He's trying to get in line of sight as soon as he can. He bops out the stun. Chaz pre-tranks, but I think Crusader was patient and held on to Hammer of Justice. So he's going to hodge him right out of this. Blinding Light onto all the trees. Beautiful Blinding Light. Magnus is alone. He pops the die by the sword. Is he going to survive? He stuns the Ellie. Gouge on Chaz. He still CC'd. Disarms the Rogue. Buying a couple more seconds for Chaz, but Searing Glare is going to hit the whole team as well. And is he going to go down? It's a Shadowy Duel on Chaz. He can't heal the Warrior. He's denying his heal over time effects. He's soloing the Druid while the Warrior is still low and might die to the Ellie Shaman, as it's a bit of a 1v1 during that time. Kidney Shot, immediate Trinket Blade Storm, and Magnus is going to respect that swap once again, but there's no mana for Chaz. If Oz just keeps pumping out damage, I think he's going to put his first point on the board, but he's actually forced into the burrow. Smoke Bomb comes down, and Magnus, oh my god, 1% almost survives, but will go down. Jamili tried to make a hero play, blinking into the bomb and knocking Calvish away, but it wasn't enough.
That was insane. That was that was pretty wild. And we're going to round 5. Crusader up 3-1 over Chaz at this point. Calvish still looking really, really good with 3 wins. But Oz puts his first point on the board. And now, and actually a pretty good composition. Like, I feel like even though sub-rogues are insane, like the Frost Mage, Ellie, Paladin, you have to favor them on this map with these compositions. Like the Paladin Wizard Cleave into the Subtlety Rogue, this has got to be good for them.
I don't favor anyone against Calvish, bro. I just don't.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't favor anybody. He gets a sap in the opener. They're starting on the Ellie Shaman, it looks like. Maybe want to go on the Mage. Jamili's polymorphium, trying to stop the crowd control. Jamili knows exactly how a rogue works and is stalling the crowd control chain. They stun the Dispel. Tears Deliverance gets kicked, and oh no, if Crusader doesn't get Tears Deliverance off, His healing is just basically destroyed. He's into a kidney shot. He's far away from the fight. He has to get that off as soon as possible. Chaz is there. He fakes the kick. He gets the clone, and Oz might just die. Double Dragon Spread, double Frost over. Jamili doing whatever he can to try and keep him alive. He drops a smoke bomb on the edge of the burrow, and it was Divine Shield. They forced Divine Shield and burrow. Oz is still just dying. He's out in the open, but he just can't handle the damage. Magnus and Calvish are all over him, and Crusader is just struggling to heal. He's into the cheap shot. Oz is dying through every defensive cooldown in the book right now. Triple fear into the gouge. Oz is still just dead. He's getting ran down full blind. No trinket, no bubble. And I think that is it for him. The blind actually ends up breaking a little bit early. Can Crusader get the heals that he needs right now to save Oz? Double Frost over. Ice Wall. Jamili's trying to hard carry. Bop comes in. That Blessing of Protection. The only reason he's alive. And finally, Tears Deliverance after a minute can be casted by Crusader, and he will get to breathe.
Oh my goodness, that was just non-stop pressure for a minute straight there onto Oz. Finally, just gets a little bit of room here in this matchup, but Calvish and Magnus committed quite a little bit there. Full Hammer of Justice onto Chaz, and he will just immediately trinket out. Does not want to fall behind on the heels. Jamili with no ice blocks left, though, gets caught into the kidney shot. Actually, UI was bugged, so he does get one ice block off, but is overlapped, I think, with the Blessing of Protection. So not going to be many defensives left here for the side of Jamili, who's getting incredibly low, using Double Shimmer to try to escape, but Calvish is just all over him. Displacement back, using basically all the mage mobility that he has available. Oz is going to have to back him up. Beautiful Blast Wave there, but a Shockwave does land. Massive pressure here on Jamili. This might be the sacrifice from Crusader. Does he have it available? Jamili might just go down. There's a shadowy duel. Calvish trying to take him down, and he does. Unbelievable. They were able to do it, and you were right. Can't count Calvish out ever.
I mean, that should, like, typically in my brain, I think it's a counter comp, like Ellie Frost into Warrior Rogue. I'm thinking, like, there's no way that they can lose that. But if Calvish is on the team, it's just not possible. You can't win.
Do you think it's pretty remarkable that Calvish is topping damage in this lobby, like overall?
I don't know how accurate that is. If I'm being honest, like, this is me trying to get details to work. I don't know 100% if it's accurate. We're gonna need Rio with the scoreboard at the end to tell us.
Yeah, we need the score. I want to see the scoreboard. If Calvish tops damage as Subtlety Rogue in this match, I'm gonna be kind of blown away.
If he's overall top damage in the lobby, yeah, I would. Is a cheap shot right away here onto Oz. Ray of Frost. Magnus charges. Jamili blinks it. And now Polymer's coming through. He Bladestorm immunes the Poly, trying to get in position. Pre-trank from Chaz. And I think Crusader was patient, though. He's still got his crowd control. He's going to chase down Chaz. Calvish in position. Kidney shot. Big swap on Chaz. Massive damage. Jamili blinks in. Intervene comes through. Hits the cheap shot from Magnus. Nice intervene here. Ice Wall comes down, just trying to corner them. Searing Glare hits the Warrior on his Bladestorm, stopping a lot of damage. Shatter on Chaz, but he's repositioning. Calvish is now isolated. They're going to swap to him in the middle. Is he going to go down? Magnus is all over him. He's going to use a Vanish, step over to Oz, continue to stay aggressive, trying to pinpoint where the least amount of heal over time effects are, and then lead that attack. Crusader's chasing down Chaz into the corner, but it's such a big map. He's got a lot of distance to close to get over to Chaz, but he needs to find crowd control. Smoke Bomb comes in, bash first onto Crusader. Chaz gets the upper hand. Can he get a Cyclone here? He's going to get stunned. He's into the Hammer of Justice. Big opportunity. Ring of Frost gets interrupted. Denounce spam, trying to get that ring into Blinding Light. Jamili needs to get a Ring of Frost here. Ring of Frost getting casted, gets Shockwave by Magnus, but Calvish is there with the sap onto Chaz. Calvish is just carrying. That forces the burrow. They're going to get another sap, I think, into a Ring of Frost. Does he have a duel? It doesn't have a duel at the moment. He's just going to go for damage. He's got a blind off DR here in a moment. It's going to force a trinket almost immediately, I think. Intervene comes through. Ray of Frost gets sheared. Good shutdown. Kidney shot on Chaz. Calvish going to line of sight for a second. Glacial Spike being casted. Where's the grounding? No grounding. Going to connect onto Oz. Not too much damage, though. Chaz chasing Crusader. It looks like it at the moment. Maybe wants to go for a bash. Chaz is just standing on top of the Rogue. It's not typical. Calvish is moving in, getting aggressive. Where is the play going to make? I think it's on to Oz again here, trying to force that wall or trinket in the near future. They pre-disarm Calvish, anticipating the go and trying to prevent their connection of stuns. Chaz is ahead on mana in this position, and he's looking to try and tie it up against Crusader. He has to beat Calvish here in round number 6 if he wants to tie it. Otherwise, Crusader is going to win the lobby 4-2. So can Chaz do it?
Yeah, Rogue Mage Paladin versus Restoration Druid Thunder. Let's see who can get a win. Big setup here on Calvish. That's going to be immediate Blessing of Protection as they go all in on Magnus. He's got the trinket. Is he going to make the trade? Massive burst damage from Calvish. Jamili able not to connect too much, but he might just fall. It's a lot of damage incoming. Goes down to 10% health. Nature Swiftness might be enough to survive. Full kidney shot now onto Chaz's Dive of the Sword trades also. So a lot of defense was committed there by both Magnus and Chaz. Luckily, he still has the Iron Bark to make a push, but I feel like this is looking really good for the Rogue Mage.
Oh, big shatter onto the warrior. Calvish gets disarmed though. Magnus is tearing him up. Bash from Chaz. Chaz is trying to get aggressive with his team. Stormbolt likely into a cyclone onto Crusader. Full cyclone gets secured. They can take down Calvish here. It's a really close call. Lava burst incoming. Big damage. It's going to proc saved by the light. Jamili gets swapped to. He's getting cut down. No blocks available. Mirror images blinks away. Magnus chases him down. Bladestorm cleaving the whole team. Getting deep wounds ticking. And Crusader has a lot of work to heal through this damage. But here comes a smoke bomb on the warrior. No trinket. Ice wall drops down from Jamili. Line of sighting Oz from the smoke bomb and preventing him from getting any sort of support for a couple of seconds. But it's not enough to close the game out. Full fear on a Crusader. How are they going to respond? Hex on Jamili. Calvish is isolated. Lightning lasso from Oz. He's actually using the wall to line of sight the counter spell. So Jamili not able to cancel that wall to interrupt the lasso. Got a decent amount of damage out with that. Chaz is behind on mana, trying to recover. He's got Innervate, big heals, forces the Cloak of Shadows. Can they do it? Can they take down Calvish? Magnus is getting uptime. Calvish is getting blasted. Oz gets the carry. I think it's going to be the kill. Cheat Death and Bop at 1%, and he goes down. Unbelievable performance, and Chaz is not going to let Crusader get away with that one.
And there will not be details for this game, Chad.
There's no camera either. We're getting neither because my UI is just completely broken.
We're good. We're good.
Oh, wait, maybe I fixed it. Oh, my God, I fixed it. I don't know how I did that. I just pressed random buttons and it worked.
So, like, Vanguard's had the absolute blessed lobby of a Max Cleave, and now he's got the cursed lobby of Arcane Mage, Boomkin, Shadow Priest. So, I am curious to see how this one goes. Although, I do think Foxy Llama teamed up with Vanguards is going to be nice. Like, I think there's going to be some decent matchups here with the Ret and the Restoration Shaman together. I could be completely wrong about that, but I think together they make for a powerful force.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. Tony, ooh, already going down, and I feel like Boomy Ret is actually maybe one of the better comps. Maybe Shadow Priest Ret's not that bad, but you got a lot of CC and burst between the Boomkin and the Ret. And Vanguard's, oh my God, is almost dead, man. He's trying to do his best on the Ret. He got a decent cleave lobby earlier, but now it's been 2 caster lobbies back to back, and with an Arcane Mage in one of them, man. Like, and a Moonkin, like these are such. The Shadow Priest is basically not a target for a Ret with no MS. He's trying to get pressure. Triple fear, man. WizK is being a terror right now. And Foxy Llama, I think he's on the bottom of the record right now for healers, man. He needs a deep run here if he wants to even have a shot. I feel like he needs to 6-0, and it's starting to slip away from him. Spirit Link Totem comes down. Can Foxy Llama be the dark horse, get Vanguard some wins in this lobby, and go 6-0 and possibly grab a spot for Championship Sunday? $10,000 on the line throughout this weekend. So much pressure. Vanguard is almost dead. Ascendance comes through. Foxy Llama makes a save right at the last second. And now Vanguard's getting CC, Hammer Justice, Root Beam, Master Spell, Static Field, pulls the Master Spell. The Mage is isolated for at least a second. Star Surge comes in. Pain Suppression, is it enough? Can they force the block on top of Pain Suppression? They kick the Polymorph. He drops the ring, dodging the Ring of Frost. Vanguard's repositioning now into a Polymorph. Not going to have a great time trying to escape from that crowd control as Aegis is getting aggressive. Eflux is moving in, looking to get a Psychic Scream out of that Ring of Frost, I would imagine, in the near future, and he's in position for it. Psychic Scream, do they have a Sanctuary? No Sanctuary. This is trouble for Vanguards. He's stunned up. And Tony's in trouble as well. Feared back behind the pillar. Tremor Totem comes down, breaking that fear. Earthen Wall protecting them. This is such a big lobby. Foxy needs a big win right now. He needs a 6-0. If you like Foxy Llama, you need to give him your energy right now, because winning with a red against double caster for like 3 games that you have to win with the red, it's going to be rough. They get decent damage on WizK. Stun, clone low on the barrier. Swap to the Mage. Nice swap by Vanguards. Mage is on the run. Oh no, but the Void Torrent, the Shadow Priest is left free. Oh, the Wind Shear comes in, and no, they're doing it. They block it 1% somehow, some way against all odds right now. Trying to keep it going. Root Beam onto the healer. Vanguard swaps to the Priest with the Avenging Wrath, but his healer's feared. He Sanctuaries it. Now going back on the Mage, and now they can't believe it. They're doing it. They're doing it 1 round now. 1 round, only 5 more.
I don't think that's it. I'm telling you, when Vanguards and Foxy Llama are on the same team, they have a good shot. I feel like the Restoration Shaman makes up for some of the weaknesses of the Ret Paladin, and the Ret Paladin makes up for some of the weaknesses of the Restoration Shaman. Plus, you have a small map. Like, we're not on Tolvaron right now. This is Blackrock Hold. Vanguards can weave in from the pillar to the open. So I wouldn't count him out just yet. I think it might be a bit more of a struggle when you don't have the Shaman healing you, but we'll have to wait and see. But I would not be surprised to see Vanguards pick up at least 3 wins in this one.
All right, let's see what he can get done here. Vanguard sneaking in. I think with the Shaman on his team, like stopping all the casts and stuff like that, it's a good chance. But with the Priest, it might be rough. Arcane Mage Ret, lots of burst damage. Vanguard silenced on his Trinket here, trying to get pressure, trying to stay on target, going after the Boomy. Big damage onto the Boomy, forcing the Bark Skin. Oh, God, is he going to go down at the same time? They pop the Shield of Vengeance. They're cutting through it, but they're going to proc a lot of damage back on themselves. They clone Vanguards and the Shield of Vengeance tick, denying that burst damage for a moment, but he does actually Trinket out. Big damage on Tony. Tony's going to have to respect the Ret Paladin a little bit here at least. He's getting brutalized right now by the Mage. Arcane Surge, big damage incoming, and Vanguards is playing confidently. He does fortunately have the map to his favor with Black Recold. If this was Maldraxxus or something, I'd say it'd be no chance, but the small map is actually giving him some decent opportunities. Arcane Missiles onto WizK, and we see Aegis on the Arcane Mage just soloing people at the moment. Temporal preemptively, gets purged instantly. Nice purge. Vanguard's in trouble, low health, Efflux in a clone, Pain Suppression available, Radiance Charge is coming through, Penance stops him off. Now Tony on the back foot, big Wake of Ashes cracking against Tony. He wild charges out on his side. Aegis is pushing in, trying to get aggressive. Arcane Blast with the Ret's clone. Damage is going to be paused. Foxy Llama gets a chance to recover in the back, and Foxy Llama needs a 6 right now, man, if he wants to get into that top 4.
Yeah, he's going to need to have a really good showing. We'll see if he can do it. Vanguard's right now into a stun. This could be the Divine Shield. He's in a silence, trying to greet it. Shield of Vengeance. Can he get the Shield of Vengeance? He does. It's a Divine Shield. There's an overlap, a bit of a nightmare there. WizK not going to be going for the Master Spell just yet, but now Vanguard's going to be in a lot of trouble. Efflux does have a lot of his defensive yet, so there's still 2 Pain Suppressions, the Barrier and the Void Shift available for Efflux, but he has no Trinket, so going to have to preemptively use those cooldowns. Right now, a big push here from Aegis and Vanguards as they're looking to take down Tony, who's cutting into the middle of the map, lands the full Cyclone. Vanguards needs to be out of line of sight. He needs to just avoid all damage right now. He's going for the double blinding light, but he gets caught into the bash and could easily fall. Rapture Shield's coming in from Efflux. His Vanguards and Efflux are on the run, out of position right now. In the meantime, you can see that Aegis has already traded out his Ice Block, so he's going to be a susceptible target also in this match.
All right, WizK trying to pull Vanguard. Arcane Surge, Incarn, big cooldowns, back and forth. Who's going to take the brunt of this exchange? No Ice Block for Aegis. He alters back, but he is getting cleaved down. Solar Beam on his healer. Vanguard's is rotted. They're both almost dead. The Life Swap comes, but it doesn't matter. Aegis is going to get crushed. And Foxy Llama might be pulling off the miracle. He's up 2 points right now. He needs to win 4 more in a row if he wants even a chance. I mean, I don't even think it's guaranteed, but even a chance to get into that top 4.
You know, I feel like the worst thing for Restoration Shaman to deal with is like Sharpened Blade and Mortal Strike effects. Like you play a decent amount of Shaman. I always feel like when there's no MS in the game, you actually can kind of coast with the Riptide, the Earth Shields, the Healing Stream Totems, and you feel like your heals actually do something. So this might be the miracle lobby here for Foxy Llama. I'm really curious to see.
Looking rough so far for WizK. For Aegis, if that's not the case, down 2 rounds. And with how tight of a race it is for DPS, like, you need 4 2s, like, at least, if you're going to get into the top 8. There's no way a 3-3 or 2-4 is going to be enough. Foxy stunned up, pressure from WizK. He's pulling back to the room, though, trying to get aggressive onto Foxy. Foxy knocks him into the room and roots him. He's out of the game. He has to mass dispel himself. Vanguards gets cloned up. Foxy's hexing WizK. Foxy's, like, bullying WizK at the moment. He pulls him into the room. He's putting WizK in timeout right now. He's like, WizK, you're grounded, bro. Stay in that room. You're grounded until next week. Solar Beam comes through, gets cloned on the dispel removal of that with the Freedom. Nice clone from Tony. Tony looking to swap that clone around. Hex comes in onto WizK. Huge pressure, almost getting the kill there in that burst moment. And if Foxy can keep playing like this with these static field totems, I see it being possible for him to get the 6. Right now, the first test is getting a win with Aegis. He's not been able to win a game just yet. Big damage incoming onto Vanguards. Lots of Arcane Orbs proccing. They're going to clone him low and the paint's up. I love the clone. Polymerse on WizK trying to slow down the Shadow Priest. Earthen Wall is down. Here comes Fury of Elune. Big Arcane Orb. Massive cleave. Vanguard Stucks recover around the pillar with Efflux. WizK's looking to reconnect with his team as well in the back line, just generating damage. Mind Spike, Dots coming out. He's taking a huge damage from the Star Surges, though. Triple Ice Nova roots the whole team back behind the pillar. Polymorphs trying to fake cast some interrupts, maybe bait some casts. Foxy Llama is silenced. Aegis on the run. Void Torrent gets counterspelled. Nice blink back into counterspell. Vanguard's in, leading the charge. Stun onto the healer, but lasso from Foxy to respond. That's a bubble. There's no way. Oh my god, a bubble and a swap.
Overlap.
They go in for the blinding light, and that's a big overlap. WizK could die. He's locked out on Shadow, trying to duck around the corner, and man, Foxy Llama's in a good spot right now to get 3 points.
Yeah, this is looking good for Foxy Llama. Can he do it? Same time, though, Tony taking a huge beating of damage. Foxy goes in for a big Nature Swiftness, though, topping him off. Now Vanguards is caught into the middle of the map. It gets gripped back there by Foxy Llama. Do they have a Lightning Lasso to keep him locked down in place? Purge is coming in. Big damage on Vanguards. Full polymorph here on Efflux. He's got 2 seconds left on his trinket. He's going to have to trinket swap, trinket swap. He gets it off in the nick of time, but another polymorph does land here by Aegis. That was a very close call. And now, I mean, this left team, Team 1, they have no cooldowns left whatsoever.
All right, so they can do. Oh, the barrier. Is it enough? Is he going to die through barrier? Tony might die at the same time.
Tony!
Your Link Totem comes down. Vanguards is going
He
for it.
died.
He's going for the kill, and he does it. He kills him through the Link. He kills him through the Ascendance. Vanguards is the light in the darkness. The Retribution Paladin's last hope. When every other ret has re-rolled, Vanguards will remain.
Dude, that is just like, that's the quintessential Resto Shaman experience. Like, you have all your cooldowns, and you just use Spirit Link and die anyways. Like, that is just yikers. I'm
Remember
sure
saying you can coast by with Riptide?
Hey, listen, his healing he was looking good up until that moment. He had Healing Tide too, so I mean, if they had just held on a little bit longer, that was looking like a dub for Foxy Llama. But unfortunately, things did not turn out that way. And now it's actually going to be Aegis completely on the back foot. He's down 0-3 right now. He's going to have to win here with Vanguards and Foxy.
Oh, big damage on the Boomy, but he's got Incarn up, so this is a very scary trade between both these classes. Really high burst damage. Aegis blinks in, knocks him into the room. Insane knock. That might just close it out. Oh my god, he gets gripped back to safety. I thought that was lights out for Tony when Aegis blinked in there and knocked him away. Eflux is trying to get in line of sight, doesn't want to get counterspelled on his penance, gets his team topped off. Vanguards is leading the charge, but the Mage gets cloned up. Foxy into a root beam. He's Spirit Walk. He's going to get out of those for free, which means Vanguards can use his freedomly. Or freedomly, making up words here. Eflux into the Hammer of Justice, into the Polymorph, big crowd control chain. Can they connect to the Boomkin, though? It's Vanguards is getting uptime, but Aegis is struggling to get there. Maybe they only need Vanguards, man. Vanguard's all over him. Typhoon away, mounts up on that steed, looking to lead the charge. Doesn't want to get baited into the room, though. If he walks into a Bash clone, that could be really bad for him. So he's staying in line of sight, keeping his damage. Here's the Fury of a Loon. Boomkin's lining up pressure. Shield of Vengeance from the red, soaks the hit, but that's also a Void Torrent. Massive damage from both the Boomkin and the Shadow Priest. Vanguards is in trouble. Oh my god, Foxy Llama just holds ironclad heals right there. It was very dicey. They hold on to their defensives. Bash, clone on the healer. Big pressure again onto Vanguard. He's walking into enemy territory. Stun onto the healer. He's still getting pressure. He's trying to go for the win. And Tony kites away with that wild charge, avoiding the hits. Vanguard's going to use Stone Form, remove off some of those damage over time effects. Start pushing in again. Ring of Frost on the corner. Eflux dodging it. They're just trying to stall, keep the dots rolling, wait for that incarnation. I think that they've likely got it available here, at least very soon if they don't have it already. Solar Beam onto the Mage. Big fear comes in. Are they going to be able to close it out? He's got Ice Block. Nature Swiftness tops him, but now there's no NS for Vanguards. He's down at half. Fox is casting Hexes. He's got to get some heals out right now. Big pressure. Fury of a Loon is down onto Vanguards. It's a big burst moment for the Boomkin. As he repositions, Typhoons the Poly away. Wizkay's pushing back to his team, trying to get in line of sight. He's getting pressured down. Vanguard's going to get stunned. Eflux still in crowd control. Wizkay healing himself back up, trying to use that hybrid healing to his advantage. Double Void Volley, dotting the team. Blind onto the healer. Vanguard's making a push, but no, Tony got precognition. He gets grounded on the clone, goes for another, gets a clone on the wings. Vanguard needs to trinket. He has to connect during wings. If they're going to win, it has to be right now. But Aegis almost dies in the meantime. He's forced to Ice Block on top of everything.
All right, here we go. Chat, welcome to Championship Sunday for $10,000 at the Void.gg Solo Shuffle Tourney. With me again, we have two amazing casters. First of all, we have Supatees. Supatees, the jacket looks great. You're looking good. How are you feeling about today?
I mean, you're looking very dapper yourself here for Championship Sunday.
Thank you.
I'm very excited. We've got some of the most exciting names in the tournament going head-to-head today. It's going to be a little bit of EU versus NA when it comes to DPS and healers as well. Is Chaz going to maintain his title? What's going to happen there? I'm very curious to see if Nick is going to be able to grab the title. You know, Rudar took it away from him last time. Rudar wasn't in the competition. He's been having a phenomenal performance. Like, pretty much every single player that's in this top 8 had some insane pop-offs yesterday that were caught in that recap video earlier today. So I'm really expecting today to be fireworks.
No, absolutely. That's a great recap. And of course, we have Ven Rookie down there. No hat today, but the hair's looking good. Ven
Oh yeah.
Rookie, what are you looking forward to today?
Ah, honestly, out of everything, I'm trying to see if Infernion will pop off. Like I've kind of made a
Okay.
prediction that I think the Destruction Warlock is going to have a really good showing. I think Infernion's been holding it down on that spec for a really long time, and I'd be curious if he could mix things up because it does seem like Moonkins and Rogues have been really powerful in these tournaments so far, at least for DPS. So if he could come in and kind of make a statement on that Warlock, I'd be really excited to see that.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. I want to give everybody in the chat a recap, or I guess some future knowledge of what today holds for us. So today is Championship Sunday. If you missed it yesterday, 36 players competed to make it into the Championship Sunday. Today's going to be comprised of 7 matches total. The first 4 matches, everybody in the semifinals is going to play twice, and whoever moves on from that to our finals is going to play 3 different solo shuffles today to get really, in the last tournament we had 1 solo shuffle, but this time to make it more exciting for the 10K and to give everybody more of a fair chance to get warmed up to get out there, there's going to be 3 matches in the finals. So we're going to go through 4 matches together, mixing a giveaway in there for you guys, of course, chat. And then we're going to head into our Championship Sunday. Now, Ven Rookie was, I got a little behind the scene knowledge, and he just told you, really hyping up the Destruction Warlock. However, Supatees, you weren't so sure if Inferion will be able to do kind of what Ven Rookie's thinking. What are your thoughts on the Destruction Lock and who you think might be able to take it?
I mean, his second lobby of the day looks really good. I feel like getting a Shadow Priest and a Ret Paladin, he's going to do really well. But this first lobby, Demon Hunter and Survival Hunter are both really difficult to deal with. He will fortunately have Subtlety Rogue on his team, and he'll have Calvish on his team when he has to fight that matchup. So there is possibilities for him to do well here. I think that he's got better synergies with the Resto Druid than the Priest also. I think he's going to feel a little bit squishier with the Priest Healer in these types of matchups with 3 melee DPS, but typically 3 melee DPS is the hardest situation for a Destro Lock, which is why I'm thinking this first lobby might be a bit rough for him.
Yeah, no, that sounds fair. For just chat to give you some more insight, Van Rookie thinks that Destruction is absolutely insane right now, and that even though what Supatees is saying with the melee lobbies, that Destruction can get the job done. So we are going to get ready for our first game here. Chat, do you guys have any predictions on who might come out on top? Exclamation mark bracket to see the leaderboards yourself. Scroll down to the bottom on that bracket and you will see the Championship Sunday. Everything will be live and updated after each game. Just give it a couple seconds and you can follow along at home. We are headed into the first game. I'm going to pass things over to you guys and you can walk us through exactly what you're seeing right here.
All right. Yeah, this is this is going to be a good one. The players that are left in this tournament for the finals is ridiculous, to be honest. Like everyone is just, fully powered up, incredibly well known within the community. All these players are absolutely exceptional. So it might come down to a little bit of lobby. I know you said you're saying that you think this might be a difficult lobby for Infernion. He's going to have to play into Big Mix on Survival Hunter. You got Tren on Demon Hunter and Calvish on that Subtlety Rogue, but I feel like he might do okay, honestly.
I think this is a 6-0 Calvish lobby. I think if you're fighting a Demon Hunter or a Survival Hunter every round, you can just absolutely one-shot that class. So we have to see a Big Mix. Big Mix was playing an interesting build last time into Subtlety Rogues. He ran like all tank gear, maximum stamina, and tried to make himself as tanky as possible. So we'll have to see if that will help him get an edge here. He's trying to flare out Calvish. He doesn't get him, and Calvish is moving in. He's looking to get crowd control and Tuna, but he does get tar trapped out of stealth from Big Mix into a scatter. This is a great start for the Hunter. He's moving over, looking to get in position to move for some crowd control here in the near future, I would imagine. Calvish is just starting things off with an offensive Cloak of Shadows, immediately swapping to the Hunter and absolutely blasting him. Is Big Mix going to go down? Nice peels coming in from Infernion with that Shadow Fury, peeling away both melee attackers. Now they're back onto Infernion, keeping pressure onto him. He's going to portal away. He's getting shredded up. Tuna's trying to keep his hots up onto as many people as possible without falling behind. He also had a pre-Heart of the Wild. He expected to swap to himself. He's caught into a gouge. Infernion's still taking a lot of damage. So they have the kidney out of the gouge. They got the kidney shot. They got a fear on Big Mix. It's cross CC. That's going to be the Hellstone out from the Warlock. But here's Ultimate Penitence. He's not able to get out of line of sight of it. Finally portaling towards the last couple of ticks of that penance. They do have Iron Bark. Calvish is in position. Tuna's going to go into bear form. He's anticipating the attack. He bashes Calvish. If he gets this clone, it's really good. Is there a Master Spell? Potentially. Master Spell comes out. Calvish is free. Big Mix is now looking like he is the target, at least for MVQ. Big Mix goes in for crowd control. They get the fear. Are they going to get the trap? They get the trap, and they might be able to pull this off. They forced Netherwalk from the Demon Hunter here. So Tren's going to be in a difficult situation moving forward. That's probably his most vital defensive.
Yeah, really important. But he did manage to hold on to his trinket, so he's going to be able to use that and glimpse potentially for a setup. Interrupt here onto Kearney as Infernion is looking to get aggressive. Immolation's coming in. Cyclone does land. Tuna just trying to slow down Tren a little bit, as I do think he is going to be the main target that they go after. Huge if Infernion and Big Mix were able to win this one here against Calvish. Here's coming in. Where did they find it? Unfortunately, not able to just yet. Infernion still just looking for that crowd control, but being denied, trying to fake out the interrupts, looking for a Chaos Bolt, gets gouged, gets kicked. Calvish is doing everything he can to slow him down, but Calvish and Tren are taking most of the damage here. This is a lot of pressure. You can see Infernion is just sitting in that efflorescence, collecting all that heal. The Bowered Barrier comes down. Big setup here onto Infernion. He's going to respect it and trade out his Unending Resolve to reduce a lot of that incoming damage. But after that, he is not going to have the luxury of that defensive cooldown, and he could get taken down really quickly.
Big Mix is playing so far away right now. He's trying to wait for his trinket to come off cooldown. He doesn't want to overextend and get one-shot by the rogue, so he's playing very tactically and patiently. But the Druid is spending a lot of mana while he's playing like this, so I'm not sure how much longer Tuna can keep this up. Infernion might just die anyways. Massive damage comes in. And Calvish, Tren, and Mystic Mac are going to take round number 1.
Subtlety Rogues are so insane. Like, Shadow Blades used to be a cooldown you kind of laughed at. Now it's just... When Calvish uses that Shadow Blades, like, if you don't have cooldowns to trade, you're just going to die through any amount of healing. So, a nightmare. And, yeah, I mean, look at the comps Calvish gets to play. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is going to be the Calvish show once again. He gets to play Rogue Demon Hunter, Rogue Survival Hunter, and Rogue Warlock. So, yeah, things might be looking good here for Calvish. And they always do, right? Like, we said it yesterday. You can never count this guy out of any lobby on that Subtlety Rogue. He's just such a menace.
All right, let's see if Calvish can get a win here. We see Tren crossing the map, trying to pull him out of stealth with that Immolation Aura. They get combat with no sap, but they're going to open up on Tren, and being a Demon Hunter against a Subtlety Rogue is not a good time. Almost dead in the opener. He trinkets, he meta-immunes, and jumps back, but a double fear is secured by Kearney. Now they're swapping over to Infernion, getting cross-pressure there. They've already killed through his Dark Pact. He's just dead. He's just outright dead. And, yeah, this is not... I don't think this is a Destro lobby. I'm going to tell you right now... I don't think this is a lobby.
I'm starting to think every lobby is just a sub-rogue lobby, to be honest with you. Every lobby is a Calvish lobby. So, yeah, that was definitely... Yep. All right. Now we get to see if Calvish and Infernion can group up. And what this quickly becomes, what's really important about these games, honestly, is if Calvish is just going to carry every game, what's really important is that you do not lose with Calvish. Like... If that's what it becomes, right? If Big Mix, Tren, and Infernion's best they can do is just only win with Calvish, you have to at least do that. You don't want to fall behind the other 2 DPS in the lobby. So if that's what it comes down to, it's going to be really, really important.
Kidney shot on the Demon Hunter, starting onto Tren once again, trying to bait that trinket. Are they going to find it? They clone him. They're going to swap off. Nice disarm from Big Mix is stopping that Subtlety Rogue's pressure for now. Cheap shot onto the Priest, setting up for crowd control. Do they find anything on the chain? They're swapping back to Big Mix. Big damage coming out, but Kearney on that Disc Priest is dealing with it effectively. Rapture and Archangel is massive powered shields. Nobody's going to be dying through that if he's not crowd controlled. Nice Chaos Nova comes up from Tren. Fell Barrage is connecting onto multiple members. That forces Cloak of Shadows, but the Warlock is still on the back foot. If Big Mix gets a freezing trap here in the near future, Infernal going to get called in. Kidney shot onto Tren, but it's getting peeled away. Now into a clone of the Demon Hunter. They've isolated the Hunter, but a pre-barrier is soaking all of that damage on Big Mix. It totally shut down that setup. Really nice barrier here from the Disciplined Priest. Calvish is now on the back foot. No Iron Bark for him. He's into the stun. Tuna's into the trap. Big setup. Can they take down Calvish? Looks like he's managed to escape from that one. Scot-free, pretty much. Cheap shot over onto the Priest. Do they get a fear out of the cheap shot or a clone? They're looking for the clone. They get the fear. Demon Hunter could be in a bit of trouble as he's down to half. Pain suppression, though, preemptively on the fear. Once again from the Disciplined Priest, making really good reads with those defensives. Now Mystic Mac, he's looking like he wants to move in. He's in the center midfield, wants to get towards Tuna. He's in position now to get a fear potentially out of this stun or a trap, but he tranquilities. Nice immunity from Tuna, but I think Mystic Mac held on to the fear if he can find it. He's in a kidney. He can't get it. And oh my god, if that fear landed, it might have been at least Tuna's trinket or possibly even a kill. But now Mystic Mac is falling behind on healing. He's been playing offensive. Now he's into the full blind. He has to trinket out into a gouge on his trinket. Big Mix in trouble. Will he get the turtle? He won't. Chaos Bolt sneaks through. And Calvish is absolutely on a runaway in this lobby so far.
Yeah. All right. And once again, gets to play good composition here with Big Mix, but it's just that level of control. What makes Subtlety Rogue so good right now is you actually have good consistent damage. It used to be the case where Subtlety Rogue's consistent damage was not good, but you can do your setups so often if you're switching targets that your overall damage is still quite high. Then you have the lethality of these big setups with your cooldowns. You can great crowd control. You're really difficult to take down, and if you play it well as Calvish, who is absolutely insane at the specialization, it's really difficult to overcome that. But we'll have to wait and see if anyone can kind of strike back. Now the game kind of becomes if any of these DPS can beat Calvish. That's what you got to do. You just have to beat Calvish one game, and you're going to be ahead in this lobby.
Yeah, they've got to protect the Demon Hunter here on these setups. But they're going after Calvish. I feel like Bigmix, the way that he builds his Hunter is so tanky. It's going to be really tough to kill him. Whenever I'm watching Waz's stream, he's always talking about how Survival Hunters are impossible to kill, and I really think it's because of Bigmix's build that he runs on it. So both of these targets aren't great. Maybe they even need to go after the Resto Druid, but then leaving them open on the Warlock. This is such a tough call for this composition. Kidney shot on the Trinket. Mystic Mac can't heal. Big pressure out onto the Warlock. Is he going to die through pain suppression? He's almost dying through it. He has to Hellstone. Drops a double Infernal, double Eye Beam. Big pressure. They need to squeeze out a kill. I think just like cheesy burst damage with an Elysian Decree like that one right there, but it's not enough damage. No top end crit. Demon Hunter jumping over, gouge onto the Priest, scatter on the DH. Warlock's isolated, dying through unending resolve. His defensive cooldowns just don't matter. They drop down the darkness. He's dead through it. He's dead through absolutely everything that they have. He's on 1%, spamming drain life. They threw everything that they've got. Void Shift as well, but they stay alive. There is still a chance for them. They're popping the hunt. They're going for the burst. Full fear on Tuna. He triggers into a refear. Nice catch by Infernion. Calvish imprisoned, low health. Can they find any follow-up? It doesn't look like they have it. Calvish has evasion. He's setting up for the kill once again. And what is this pressure? This Warlock is dying through pain suppression. He's dying through wall. He's dying through every single ability in the game. They're pre-reading everything, and he's still dead. Oh my god.
He died, didn't they? He dropped Darkness and Unending Resolve and Dark Pack, and they just killed him through it? Like,
yes.
Are you kidding me?
Dark Pack resolved darkness and killed him through that, and he
and
killed him in the end, and he killed him.
And they swapped him. To me, it's an injustice that Infernion didn't win that game. Like the fact that he was able to hold on at 1% health, drain lifing, just playing it as cool as he can, and they do get the life swap and he survives. It's an injustice that he just died immediately after that in the next setup. Definitely a tough one for him, but we'll see what Calvish does here. He's going to be moving forward. Does he get an opener? It looks like he will be able to land that sap. They're going to be going after Infernion once again, and I'm definitely eating my words about the Destro Warlock. This is 100% the Calvish show. He trinkets out, though. Trinkets out a little bit aggressive. Is going to have that cheap death to fall back on if he does need it, but still just going after Infernion. Pain suppression trades, rapture trades. They're just killing him through both. He portals away. I mean, at this point, Kearney's doing whatever he can to keep him alive, but this damage from Trent and Calvish is so unrelenting.
Oh man, Infernion once again getting pressured. Is he just gonna die? If he walls low, he might. He walls, but they have to swap on top of it. He's going for Chaos Bolts. The Shadow Meld comes from Tren here. He Shadow Meld immunes the Chaos Bolt damage. Nice play. Now Fell rushing through. Tuna's jumping in, getting offensive towards the Priest. Look at this pressure. Everybody is dead. What is going on right now? Mystic Max into the clone. Big Mix is in trouble. Exhilaration, but now the Warlock's in trouble. Hellstone comes out. Pressure across the board. Smoke Bomb on the clone. Big Mix disengages over, trying to get some counter pressure. There's no trinket on Tuna. There's one chance that they could get some sort of stun on Calvish with a trap on Tuna, but I don't think the stun's going to last long enough to find enough damage. Ultimate Penitence comes up for the Priest. He's throwing everything that he's got at them to try and get some pressure going, but there's just none to be found at the moment. Ironbark preemptively by the Druid. They drop down the darkness. They're staying offensive. They're making the push. They're going for the kill. They know Mystic Mac has absolutely nothing. They just need to stay offensive. The lock port's away, but the Priest can't keep up. He's just going to die. Calvish is all over him, and oh my god, man, what is going on? Is this a Sub-Rogue thing? Is this just a Calvish thing? Like, it's like he's two people in one character, I swear.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, yeah, definitely. There's other sub-rogues in the tournament that didn't show this kind of domination, so we'll see what ends up happening. Can he get the 6-0 in the finals? I mean, that's massive, right? This tournament at this point is completely stacked, and if you're going into these lobbies and you're winning 6, you are putting yourselves in an amazing position to make it into those final 3 lobbies for the money, So Calvish so far setting himself up nicely. If Tren and Big Mix can win this, it would be amazing. But Infernion, if he loses this is going to be an absolute nightmare. And he could. I feel like this is a possibility here. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Calvish is going to have to try to get these consistent setups. Manages to find the kidney shot onto Tuna. Cheap shot onto Tren, who immediately trinkets. So opting to trade out the trinket on the Shadow Blades. Not going to be messing around and wants to continue the pressure here onto Infernion.
All right, let's see. Big Mix in trouble behind the pillar. Calvish is going after him. They catch him. They pop the hunt. They force evasion. But with evasion, they should be fine. And they left the Warlock open. Double Infernal Stun. Big Rift's likely going to be called in here very soon. Now they're going back on the Warlock. Stunlock follows through. Mystic Mac drops down the barrier. But a Priest healer with a Warlock is not good synergy. You're really squishy. So, and there's not a lot of recovery when the Priest is crowd controlled, which there is a lot of with a Hunter on the other side. They're setting up. Chaos Bolt's coming in 2 in a row onto Tren, but he's just tanking him. Nothing's happening. Ultimate Penitence comes in from the Priest to try and close out the game right there. Tren's just going to duck around the corner. Tuna Tranquilities. They manage to recover. They're still going after Calvish, trying to catch him, trying to punish him. Full bash with no trinket. Mystic Mac gets a big power word shield. He's keeping Calvish offensive, and now the Warlock is free casting double bolts. 2-for-1 specials. Big Max is down below half. If they can find another stun lock here in the near future, they can definitely take him out, but there's a full freezing trap, no trinket, and who will go down first? Is it Inferni on the Warlock? Is it Big Mix on the Hunter? They're both in a very dangerous situation. Full fear onto Tuna. He can't get any heals into another fear from Mystic Mac. They swap over to the Demon Hunter. Smoke Bomb comes down, and Calvish is going for the 6. They're so close to it, and they're 1 second away. They find it, and Calvish gets the perfect lobby, 6-0.
Oh my god. It's a nightmare for everyone else. You do not want to be in a lobby like this when you're trying to pick up points. Infernion, Trent, and Big Max both only going to be picking up 2 points there in that one. And Calvish, I mean, at this point, how many wins do you think you need? Maybe like 8? 8. I think 8 or 9 for sure is going to put you into that top 4 DPS, right? So, especially what ends up happening too, which is really crazy about going 6-0, is there's so few DPS that you are denying points from everybody else, right? So not only are you're just soaking up all the points, so it's going to be really difficult for Infernion, Tren, as well as Big Mix to actually kind of recover from this situation going forward into their next lobby.
Yeah, you mentioned it pretty well, and the whole time you guys were casting that, the chat is going back and forth with, is Sub Rogue busted? Is Calvish just insane? It seems like it's a healthy mix of both, but like Super T's mentioned, it's definitely Sub Rogue being strong, but Calvish is making it happen, and I think we see this pretty often, Super T's, where there's one caster, and so the strategy becomes very easy. It's train the caster, and the other threat's not so big. Do you think when it's just one caster in a lobby, it does make it easier for those melee, or is it just the sub rogue tech?
I mean, I think particularly in that lobby, obviously, like as a caster, as Destro, you have a lot of instant damage, but that instant damage isn't like guaranteed closing damage. You generally are going to need to get a Chaos Bolt. So if there's too much disruption, it's mostly about pressure also. You're just constantly running away and dead in the melee cleave lobbies, so you can't just stand still and cast bolts like we saw yesterday when Infernion got caster lobbies where he's just doing max damage, has control of like 90% of the map. That's the main problem. And if it was maybe a double druid lobby, he could do okay, but I feel like a priest healer on a Destro is also just, it's not easy to pull off.
Yeah, regardless, everybody seemed to play well. Just the rogue coming out on top and complemented by a lot of really good classes on the side. The Sub-Rogue DH with a lot of damage. The Sub-Rogue Hunter with that additional CC on top of the Sub-Rogue. And then we saw it there, the Warlock Sub-Rogue. They tried to go Calvish, but the Warlock got to free cast a little bit, and they took the DH down. Van Rookie, we're headed into our next match here. Why don't you walk us through what we're up for match 2, guys?
All right, match 2. These are the remaining competitors in the tournament. So these are the only... what is that? It's 12 players that are left? Yeah, so we've got Chaz bringing it in on the Resto Druid, who has been having a phenomenal performance so far. Meat Monk, who I think has been kind of the wild card on that Mistweaver Monk. He's obviously the only Mistweaver Monk that has kind of made it through. I think he's had a really good day yesterday. I'm curious to see what he can get done here today. And then, of course, Vanguard's holding it down on the Ret Paladin. MVQ, our second Demon Hunter. Nick, the Druid, who has been an absolute monster on that Balanced Druid. And WizK. I mean, if you don't know WizK at this point, I feel you probably don't watch much WoW esports. So, yeah, an incredible Shadow Priest. And yesterday, I think, was one of the players that kind of surprised us the most with how well he did. So I'm kind of curious to see who comes out ahead in this one.
It's an all-star lineup. Vanguard's immediately getting bursted down by Nick with that bash solar beam. He's going to duck around the pillar that's nearest to him. Fear over on the meat. Vanguard is getting aggressive, trying to train down the Boomkin. I'm really hoping that WizK is playing Psyfiend. I feel like a Psyfiend is going to be necessary here to take down the Balanced Druid. In terms of matchup, I feel like Demon Hunter Boomkin is heavily favored. It's going to have tons of AoE pressure. They can go all over the place. They're on Chaz right now, catching him out on that top ramp side. He's trying to escape with the dash and manages to get away to safety, but now Vanguard's isn't safe. Look at the pressure, but suddenly suddenly Nick is in trouble as well. Meep is really struggling. Both healers having a tough time in the opener. I mean, when you're seeing Vanguards, WizK, MVQ, and Nick the Druid, like this is the highest DPS you are ever going to have to deal with in a lobby as a healer, and they've managed to make it through the first minute.
Yeah, big pressure early on in the match, but finally Nick taking a little bit of damage here. See what they're going to be able to do. Meat Monk so far has not played super aggressive, moving in right now, making sure he's staying in line of sight, keeping the heals up on his team so they can play aggressive. The Demon Hunter Moonkin, a very powerful composition, a lot better than what we normally see from Ret Shadow Priest. So I will agree that I do think MVQ and Nick are favored in this one. But you can kind of abuse the Mistweaver Monk on his cast. So if they can land, some silences, some good crowd control, they might be able to actually take him down. Good setup here from Nick and MVQ once again. Chaos Nova into Fell Eruption onto Chaz. A big setup here. Can he survive? It gets solar beamed. And that's going to be the swap from WizK. A beautiful setup. I really like that they're going after Chaz consistently in this matchup. It's the most difficult thing to deal with if you are that Restoration Druid, being constantly attacked. You can't just keep your hots up on your teammates. Makes it a lot more difficult to balance that defense and offense.
If Vanguard's going to win this game, he has to get a Repentance on Meat Monk. And Meat Monk has just been avoiding every single cast that he's tried to get so far. And now Vanguards might just die. I think that was the Blessing of Protection, potentially. Maybe he used that on Chaz earlier. He actually survives it without Divine Shielding. They get a clone. It's got to be Stun, Silence, Clone, Repentance. You have to CC a Mistweaver for like 20 seconds in this matchup if you're going to win. Another clone comes out, but now WizK's under pressure. They're all over the place. Hammer of Justice from Vanguards, but they reverse magic it. Now Vanguards is stunned up, and he might just blow up, and no, he goes down. MVQ and Nick the Druid just explode with massive pressure, and they were just all across. They were on every single target that game. Nobody was feeling safe, and that is the danger of the composition of Demon Hunter Boomkin, is the ability to spread its damage out. Now, this is a matchup that you almost never see. Demon Hunter Ret versus Boomkin Shadow Priest. Both of these compositions, as far as melee cleave and caster cleaves, have generally not been the most popular, so I'm not sure what to expect. I feel like a Demon Hunter can generally keep a Boomkin on the back foot and bear, but the interrupts aren't really that punishing. They're like 2 seconds long, so if Nick the Druid even procs a precog, like he's going to go clone crazy, and WizK will be able to free cast, and if WizK can get some pressure out in that way, then it could be really tough for them to recover.
Yeah, right now, good pressure on Nick early on in the match. Let's see what they can do. Meat Monk right now in a fear. Needs to connect the Life Cocoon. Potentially gets caught into a Fell Eruption. I think he does trade out the Revival there with the Restoral to keep Nick alive. And that was a Bark Skin and Trinket too. So big cooldown trades early on in this match. MVQ and Vanguard's getting really, really aggressive. And one of the big advantages MVQ has in this match is he is the only Mortal Strike effect. So reducing that incoming healing can really help with pressure. So this might be an MVQ lobby. Does get caught into a leg sweep, into a full cyclone. Nick and WizK trying to start back a little bit here, going after Chaz as much as possible. And this map can be difficult for the Druid to actually line of sight. If you're playing at this little ramp, Chaz is going to have to constantly kind of expose himself. He can't play at max range, and that does make him a great target to go after and swap to consistently in this match.
All right, let's see if they can make those swaps. We see the Hunt being casted. Big pressure onto Nick. He tried to Shadow Meld it. I don't know if he actually successfully hit that, but it is really big. If you can immune the Hunt, you immune the Dot as well. He's trying to flap away with that Wild Charge, but he's still at half health. And Demon under pressure on a Boomkin is making me think that MVQ is going to be taking this round. Meep is into the Imprison. They're killing him through Barkskin. Big heal comes in.
Bash on the Trinket.
But it's not enough. They're already topped. I think that had to have been the Revival there from Meat Monk to get that heal while he was crowd control, but they're still keeping pressure up. He's popped the Thorns, but there's just no counter pressure. Chaz is staying so far away from the fight. If they can't swap to Chaz, he just has Life Bloom on the DPS. It's going to be so tough to get pressure. We get to see a fake on that interrupt there, but MVQ eventually retreats to immune the clone. Nick has to reposition. He's trying to lob out damage on Vanguards. WizK's going for a solo kill on Chaz. He's going to Nature Swiftness and heal through that Void Torrent. Now he's silenced, and it's really kind of up to WizK if he can catch Chaz in the open at any opportunity and maybe fear him away or swap to him. We see them doing a swap on MVQ right now, trying to force some cooldowns from him. He's just eventually retreating in the sky, getting that immunity to Sunlocks. Meep is getting aggressive here. He's on top of them, ready to go whenever he gets crowd control available and trying to keep Nick topped, but this is a lot of damage to heal through right now. No Barkskin. He's going to pop Renewal. He's got the Thorns available. They're trying to pressure them away. Mana is even between the teams at least, so they definitely still have a chance. Barkskin's coming off cooldown. They got Chaz in a stun. They're trying to set up damage. WizK's doing his best to force Hoth. Now swapping over the Void Torrent on MVQ. They get the Trinket Netherwalk and Trinket Ironbark. This is a big opportunity. If they can keep Nick alive with that Fear and a Hammer of Justice, he might just die through Barkskin, Life Cocoon, and Trinket. Now both teams are just blown wide open in terms of defense.
Yeah, 50% dampening. Things are going to get crazy here. Vanguard's taking a little bit of pressure. Going to be looking to line of sight. As Chaz is in a Cyclone, MVQ could easily fall. A beautiful leg sweep. Nicely done there by Meep. Not afraid to get his hands dirty and move in for those stuns. doing a great job and picking up his second win of this lobby. Like, going into this tournament, I'm not going to lie, I feel like a lot of people maybe slept on Meat Monk on that Mistweaver. It was all about the disc, all about the Resto Druid, but he is really making these enemy healers work. It's a joy to see.
I think it also could be a Nick lobby. It might be a Nick lobby angle.
Come
on
on,
the
we got to
balance
hype up
grid.
the healers a little bit too. Come on, bro.
I'm trying. I mean, maybe this could be a pop-off moment for him. I'm wondering if he has like multiple builds, if he can do a Fistweaver build and a ranged build or not, because
touch that.
Fistweaver into the Boomkin Shadow Priest could actually be really good as a countermeasure compared to the Resto Druid. He's rolling in. He's getting the double leg sweep. He's setting his team up for success. And Prison over onto Chaz. This is a big opportunity for Meep. If he can be the healer that beats Nick on Boomkin, that's going to be what gets him a lead, I think, over Chaz and the other healers. We can see WizK taking some pressure right now. Chaz getting swapped to. MVQ is just trying to kill him by himself. Almost does the job there, but now he's in Tree of Life with those treants down, and I don't think he's going to be going down. He roots him behind the pillar. Metamorphosis to come back and reconnect. Trying to swap over to Nick. Going for the hunt. Nick doesn't try and Shadow Meld it this time around. Double stun onto both. Elysian Decree connects as well. WizK's got dots out across the whole team, I would imagine, here, but he's falling behind. Vanguard is really tearing him apart. Fake cast on the Void Torrent. Trying to bait the Rebuke. Vanguard doesn't fall for the bait. He lands a Rebuke here on that Mind Spike. Now moving back in and aggressive. Hammer of Justice on Meep. Clone on MVQ. Swaps the clone over. Chaz is getting aggressive. He's got advantaged position here. They force Dispersion. Can he get a clone on it? He gets a clone on the Dispersion as well, forcing WizK's Trinket. And if WizK doesn't have Trinket, he can't access that Void Shift to swap his health in the future. And that Trinket from him might come back to bite him.
Yeah, definitely. Chaz still under fire. Already used his Trinket, taking a lot of damage. WizK in the meantime, though, under fire. Does not have the Dispersion. Meat Monk might have to Trinket and trade up the Cocoon, but it looks like it's enough healing on WizK for now. Going to be using that Desperate Prayer. Flash heals coming in to reduce incoming damage and top himself off. So WizK is pretty durable right now in terms of defense. Now getting aggressive here with the Mind Spikes. Is set up onto Chaz once again. Vanguard's also rotting down. MVQ and WizK have a lot of pressure. If Meep can win this game, he's going to give himself a very solid lead so far in this match. Let's see if he can do it. Nick right now under fire, trading out the Bark Skin. A lot of pressure incoming. Chaz behind on mana, just a little bit. Hammer of Justice secured by Vanguards. It gets reversed by MVQ, but MVQ is also met with a Cyclone, so good control coming in from Nick on that Balance Druid so far. He's been an all-star player, getting a lot of crowd control. Full Fear lands. WizK under fire once again. They're going for a big setup here on a Chaz. The hunt lands. Are they going to be able to take him down? Silence out of the stun, and Chaz is able to escape. Great roots coming in from Nick just to give Chaz a little bit of freedom, and now it's going to be WizK on the back foot. How is Meep going to handle this?
Oh, let's see. Hammer of Justice. No Trinket. Dispersion comes up in 6. MVQ doesn't have Darkness. Full clone onto Meep. WizK's in trouble. Is he going to go down? 1 second away. Life Cocoon comes out from Meep. Now Nick is under fire. They get a low clone. Chaz has been getting so many insane clones this game. You know, he's we noted his defensive play yesterday, but today he's getting a lot of high value clones. But Divine Shield is forced nonetheless. We see a Solar Beam Master Spell from WizK. He's trying to get it, but he's just dying. He might go down. Void Shift comes over, but Meep could get swapped to. He's right there, right next to them. He's into the full bash. WizK is still just dying even through his Void Shift. He has to disperse, but Nick is getting low as well. MVQ trying to carry the damage here. I think that Demon Hunter on Boomkin advantage is the only thing really going for their composition, but now he's Netherwalked. He gets cloned on his Netherwalk. Chaz gets silenced. Meep is still low. WizK's just trying to get away and recover, but Meep has nothing. Nick disengages in. He's getting ready to close out this game. He's got the Fury of Elune down. He's looking for the Cyclone. As soon as this Cyclone lands, I think it's over. He might not even need to get it. He bashes the Demon Hunter. Meep can't heal. He's out of mana. Dampening is too high, and it is an absolute race to the finish. Who will fall first? Is it going to be Nick? Is it going to be WizK? Vampiric Embrace comes off and cooldown. He pops it right away to try and get some extra heals. Vanguards is now falling behind. Can he pull it off? He's down at 10%. Vanguards goes for the kill, and Star Surge will connect from Chaz off to the left side, closing it out, and now Nick is in the lead 3-0, looking to make another 6 for himself to try and catch up to Calvish in the DPS leaderboards.
Oh my goodness. And now we got Chaz, Nick, and WizK grouping up here against this Cleave setup, so this is going to be tough, I think, for me. He's going to have to deal with 2 offensive Cyclones that are just slowing down his heals. You can get Cyclones on the Life Cocoon, really deny a lot of that incoming healing. That was 72% dampening. Can't really ask too much more from these healers, and it just speaks to the caliber of these players so far. I think going into this round, this 4th round, I'm going to heavily favor WizK and Nick, but we'll see if MVQ and Vanguards are going to be able to strike back here with Meep and how much damage they can get out.
I don't know. I feel like Mistweaver, this might be the best comp for me to beat Nick. I feel like this has a lot of pressure on a balance to it, and monks don't really care about Shadow Priest damage. And it looks like he might be fist weaving. He's punching Chaz here at the moment, or he's just doing a little bit of extra damage, trying to add into the mix as well. We'll have to wait and see. I think he's still playing the ranged build, but this is definitely Meep's best comp in the matchup. WizK is going to be left open, but I'm not sure how much he'll get done. Mistweaver healing is so high against dot damage that I'm not sure it will work too well for him. They do get a decent burst here on a Vanguard. It's going to get Life Cocoon. Nick is trying to fake kicks, going for Cyclones. Not able to find it just yet. Nice triple fear, but now WizK is suddenly dead out of nowhere in a big swap. He's going to Desperate Prayer. Chaz is in tree, trying to heal up. He's getting swapped to by Vanguards. Hammer of Justice going after the healer, trying to force Chaz to spread his life wounds on multiple targets. Meep is rolling in, trying to add some damage and staying next to Vanguards for his support. If he needs any types of heals or Sanctuary, he doesn't want to be out of range or out of line of sight. Vanguards is still going after Chaz, just trying to solo him right now. It's all about who can beat Nick in this lobby, who can stop him from his 6-0. They're very close to it right now. Look at that pressure. Not a lot of defense available. They do manage to recover nonetheless. Meep positioned off to the side here. Line of sighting crowd control. Imprison on Chaz. Stun on Nick. Chaz dispels. Nice double fear from WizK, punishing the red and the monk for stacking up here. Trying to isolate MVQ, but not finding enough damage just yet to take him down. Vanguards is still leading the charge, going after Chaz. Is MVQ going to back him up? All three members going after Chaz. He's got Barkskin. They might force Tranquility. They need to get Tranquility on this push, but he's back into bear form on the leg sweep. He squeezed that between the stuns. They're swapping off. Elysian Decree. Big crit onto WizK here. Chaz is trying to recover the team, managing to do a good job. Mana is even between the sides. There's still a chance for both.
Yeah, definitely good pressure from both sides. It was great peels coming in from Nick and WizK during that last setup onto Chaz, and that is going to be super important. Meep right now taking a little bit of pressure as he is silenced. They're just going after the Mistweaver monk. Fear into a bash from Fear touch. He's fully loaded with dots. Can they take him down? It is a close call. Meep holds on though, and it doesn't have to use the life cocoon, which is massive. It's such an important cooldown for the Mistweaver monk. The fact that they weren't able to get it is actually a big victory. At the same time though, Chaz getting absolutely deleted. They got the void shift, not going to use it. Nature Swiftness should be enough for Chaz. He does manage to hold on, but these constant healer swaps for both sides are just so lethal. Now Nick's in trouble. Imprison on Chaz. He's got no trinket, and they're just going after Nick. He uses Thorn's bear form. Frenzied regeneration. That's enough to survive, but this pressure coming in from MVQ and Vanguards is immense.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep it up. Nice triple fear from WizK. Where's the setup? Void Eruption. He gets stunned. He might get punished. They're stacked up. Big damage from Vanguards right now into WizK as he's down to half now. Vanguard's in trouble. Chaz in trouble. He pre-barks. Is he going to survive? Void Shift comes in as WizK redirects his health to himself, and Chaz is on the run right now. They're all getting cut down. I think this is their moment. Meep's team can take it. They can deny the 6 from Nick. They're so close to it. Quaking Palm from Meep Monk, and I think that touch of death comes in, and Meep has done it. That was very important. Whichever healer could take a win over Nick, I think is going to be winning this lobby.
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance of that. But Chaz now gets to play with MVQ and Nick, so I think that's probably going to play into his favor here. But yeah, Meep taking down Nick the Druid, definitely a big win for him. Let's see if he can do it. If he can win 4 here, that would be absolutely massive. As we do know, what we saw in the last lobby, it was 3-3, right? So if either one of these healers can walk away, well, at this point, it's only going to be Meep. If Meep can walk away with 4 wins, that means he's going to win this first round, right? Like, he's going to be ahead of everyone else, putting himself into a great position for that finals.
Let's see if he can pull it off here. Void Torn immediately by WizK, trying to get stacks of that trauma so he can get a lot of haste and start blasting down his opponents. Really good positioning here. WizK with the eye, or MVQ with the eye beam. Into Metamorphosis, trying to pre-immune a stun. Big pressure onto WizK. That Demon Hunter Boomkin, probably the best comp in the lobby. So if Chaz loses with this, I think Meep might even get a 5-1 overall. They've got good pressure on Vanguard's. Life Cocoon, not even 30 seconds into the game, has been forced. Now they're swapping back. MVQ is going after Meep, trying to punch that Life Cocoon. Stun into stun. Elysian Decree, is he going to go down? He ports back away to the top of the ramp and should be able to pick himself back up. MVQ immediately swapping back, but Nick is taking a lot of damage. WizK is absolutely tearing in right now, and MVQ goes down. Wow. And that is a big throw and a huge cost for Chaz in this lobby, as Meep is now looking to try and take 5.
Yeah, and this puts, if Meep wins 5, I mean, he's got Nick, he's got Vanguards. There's definitely a possibility here. That would be absolutely massive. And I feel like it, I won't say it guarantees him, but it puts him in a really good spot to make it into the finals. On the flip side, this is a disaster for Chaz. This is not what you want whatsoever. You're behind every other healer. I feel like he's got to win this game if he wants to have, you know, any shot of making it into the finals. So let's see what he can get done. And in terms of DPS, I mean, if Nick and Vanguards can pick up some wins here, that puts them in a really good spot too. Keep in mind, in that last game, Calvish soaked up pretty much all of the wins. So if Nick and Vanguards win this, they're going to be in a really good spot also for the semis so far.
Bash clone, MVQ, he trinkets, goes for the eye beam, big damage, going into the hunt, gets rooted on the hunt, nice root there, into paralyze. I like the crowd control on MVQ, trying to deny his metamorphosis, but he connects. Here comes the essence break, big pressure onto the balance druid. Nick Barkskins right away, soaking the hits. Now the hunt swap onto Vanguard's Elysian Decree, big combo on that swap. He's going to shield a Vengeance and be fine. Now they're swapping back to Nick as Barkskin ends, maximizing their DPS. Chaz looking for a clone, gets solar beamed on cast, but Nick is falling behind. Meep is struggling, big pressure from MVQ and WizK. Chaz gets swapped to, Nick gets stunned, he can't keep up the pressure. Chaz repositions, he's safe. Nick is now down at half. Nice triple fear from WizK. WizK is just absolutely owning that last round and this one as well. The pressure is so high, it's not typical to see this amount of pressure from a Shadow Priest against a Mistweaver. Chaz pre-bears the stun on the swap, gets Master Spell out of the Hammer of Justice. Vanguard is still going for it, but I think he's going to have to give up the chase. He's trying to keep pressure up and force the Hots to swap over and get Chaz to spend mana. They do have still some decent damage. Chaz needs to respect that. He's going to go back behind the pillar. MVQ's cloned. He can't get any damage out. WizK now getting pressured by Vanguards. Big pressure out from Nick with that Fury of a Loon laser beam. That's going to give him a lot of Star Surges. Here comes one, looking to get into Eclipse before tossing out the rest of them. Chaz repositioning, getting his team aggressive. Stun, WizK in position, gets the fear. Is there a Sanctuary? Doesn't look like it. Nick's going to Heart of the Wild, giving him 2 charges of Frenzied Regen, but that's a Void Torrent. Nice Typhoon on the Void Torrent, denying those stacks of Mind Trauma, but he's still just dying to the Demon under Shadow Melds in desperation to try and stabilize here, but he still might just die. The pressure is so high right now onto him. Can Meep keep him alive? Meep gets him through that. They get a clone onto MVQ. Now they're trying to get pressure onto WizK. Killing the Shadow Priest as a red is such a tough target, though, with no Mortal Strike. I think it's much better if they keep swapping to Chaz and MVQ in between those targets. Elysian Decree, double stun. Nice punish from MVQ, but now he gets bashed up. Nick is trying to heal, looking for the clone. Gets a clone, but it looks like it may have been on DR. He's going to have to reposition. He roots up MVQ out of line of sight. Chaz, oh, big swap! Chaz is out in the open, way far away from his team. He's going to Barkskin in bear form and hope that it's enough, and it looks like it will be for now, but that could have been almost the end of his run right there. I think we go 1-5 as a healer. There's no chance to qualify into the top 4. Life Cocoon comes out from Meat Monk. He's doing a good job keeping his team stable, trying to get pressure. Here comes Incarnation. This is the big kill condition for Nick. Meep knows that. He's rolling in, getting crowd control on Chaz. They need to get a ton of pressure right now and force major cooldowns. They're trying to take down WizK. Is he going to choke on the finish line right now? He's got Dispersion. He desperate prayers. He's being greedy. He's trying to flash heal through the Incarnation and hold Dispersion for a time later on. We see stun locks from MVQ. He's into that Metamorphosis. His damage is going to be high. Essence Break swap on a Vanguard. Shield of Vengeance. Going to soak a couple of hits as he pops a stone form, but it's not enough. Chaz gets swapped to. Is he going to go down? Vanguard's is all over them right now. Pressure onto 2 targets. He gets Tree of Life proc. He gets the Tranquility. WizK has dispersed. They should be able to stabilize throughout this Tranquility and then go for the kill onto Nick. There's nothing left to stop it. Vanguard's, he's got Bop. Maybe that's the last thing that they can throw out, but he might just die through it anyways. Blessing of Protection. It's the spell warding. Nick will be safe. Vanguard's is low. He's got no bubble. Everyone is dead. They get a clone on MVQ, but Nick, he master spells the Bop, and WizK's going for the kill. Shadow of Death after death, and they cannot deal with it. Chaz is going to run away with 2. The DPS all at 3, and really Meat Monk is the big winner of this. I feel like being a healer at this level and actually being able to take a round advantage is going to be a huge deal for qualifying into the top 4.
It's massive, right? Meat Monk has put himself in a clear position with Calvish. Maybe not as big of a lead as Calvish, but he is the #1 healer at this moment. Keep in mind, every single player is going to have 1 more round to play through. So there's going to be 2 more lobbies in the semifinals before we move into the finals. So right now, I'd say Calvish, obviously in a tremendous spot. No one else, none of the other DPS are really in a good spot. It's all 2 wins, 3 wins. So someone's going to have to pop off in their next lobby. And then for these healers, someone's going to have a dominating performance as well. Because if Meat Monk just coasts, if he gets like 3, for example, in his next lobby, he's in a really good spot to make it.
Yeah, that was a good lobby. I like that you keep pointing out to the chat that there's no Mortal Strike. So a lot of these matches are lasting a bit longer. Teams have a little bit more time to react. The heals are going through even in the dampening, and it's creating a lot of chaos. And like Venruki just said, that was 2 matches today. So everybody on our final day has played a match each. They're going to play 2 more, and then we're going to put together the points from those 2 matches that everybody's played today for the championship solo shuffle finals in just a little bit. But before we do, I want to take you guys over to our giveaway of today. If you were here yesterday, Void.gg gave away $300 of gift cards. So I want to take you guys over to our bracket here. Well, not our bracket, sorry, but our Void.gg giveaway, and then we're going to look at the bracket. I'm going to post it in the chat for you guys right now. Go ahead and come to this Void page, like, comment who you think's going to win, and before our finals, we are going to announce the gift card giveaway and then jump into our finals. Now, I believe the bracket is just being updated from the previous match so we can see where everybody's at. So this bracket won't be updated this second, but just so we could see the names of Venruki, and so the chat can see. If you guys go to the standings, ! bracket in the chat, scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see the Championship Sunday. And it looks like they're just updating it now. They're going to have it done in just a couple seconds, but maybe we can go ahead and just look at the players here from Calvish, MVQ, Bikmex, Infurion, Tren, WizK, Nick the Rogue, Vanguards. From what you just saw, is there anybody to you, Supatis, that's standing out?
I mean,
Is it?
Calvish is the obvious one right now. I mean, he's the only one with a huge lead. Moving into these next brackets though, like MVQ and Tren, I feel like this is a lobby that's going to come down to like whichever demon hunter performs better could take this lobby, because there's no classes that would like 100 KO you in a stun, for example. Survival hunter's not going to 100 KO you, and Boomkin's not going to 100 KO you. So to me, this next lobby is like whichever demon hunter plays better is going to be getting a big point advantage.
Okay. Do you think that, well, we don't have Calvish in this lobby, so we'll wait a minute for that question, but do you think looking at this lobby that we saw Chaz struggle a little bit, do you think he needs the 5-1, the 6-0, and do you think it's possible versus Tuna?
I mean, this is EU versus NA, so it's and Tuna plays a completely different build as well, I think. So it's gonna be very interesting to see like the strategy as well as technique and talent builds, how they play out against each other, because Tuna has been playing no tree form, I think, for most of the contest, unless he's adopted Chaz's build at some point. He's been playing no tree form, whereas Chaz plays tree form every single game. And that's a big differentiating factor. So if Chaz's build is better, or his strats are better, his technique's better, then this is a good opportunity for him to get a lot of points and, you know, get back in the running.
Absolutely. And everything's refreshed, Venruki, just before you go ahead. So if you've refreshed your bracket from your end, you will see everything in chat. You guys can see exactly what we're looking at if you refresh your brackets. And sorry, go ahead, Venruki.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, sometimes like the whole EU versus NA thing can be a little bit cringe, but this is the EU versus NA.
Okay.
Kinda, I mean, we got Tuna, Chaz, MVQ. I think actually is European, but he plays mostly NA, right? Like, are we claiming MVQ for NA? I think we are. For the purposes of this lobby and the narrative, we are claiming MVQ as NA, even though he's European. And we got Tren in here, Bikmex, and Nick the Druid. So this is gonna be a fun one. I'm curious, actually, if we're going to see one of these, like if Nick is going to be able to pull ahead here on the Moonkin, is it going to be one of the Demon Hunters that makes the difference? I feel like this is a relatively even lobby, so I think it's just going to come down to who kind of plays better and who gets a little bit more luck in their way.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
for sure.
I mean,
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Supatis.
between the Resto Druids and between the Demon Hunters, right? It's EU versus NA for the reasons of the narrative and our, you know, we got to have some controversy here. Maybe Bikmex though surprises everybody, and maybe he runs through this, but I feel like this is really tough. He fortunately does have a Demon Hunter who can kill a Boomkin. So, you know, if he can get crowd control, the Demon Hunter will be able to kill the Boomkin. He's got Trank Darts as well for both Resto Druids, which could be good as well. So there's maybe some potential here for Bikmex to actually surprise everybody and be the one that wins the entire lobby.
No, absolutely. So you guys at home, I just want to make this clear that Void.gg, this is the third tournament so far. They did a $2,500 one, a 5K tournament, and now a 10K. Go ahead and make sure you guys are following the Void.gg Twitch channel so that anytime we go live, you guys don't miss out. Let us know right now in the chat, is it EU or is it NA?
Games are popping off.
Coming out with the rounds here. We're going to take you in to the next arena chat. Is it EU or NA who's coming out with the more combined wins here? It looks like we've started and we're headed in.
Yeah, we're in. We're getting under fire. Tuna's almost dead.
Right now.
Barkskin
and Barkskin trying to recover. Darkness comes down as well. Chaz is now under pressure, and Bikmex is actually looking pretty good. He gets cloned up, though. He's going to be denied on his damage. Nick is trying to reposition away from the engagement, and honestly, this might be a bad lobby for Nick, with two Demon Hunters just running him down every game. If Bikmex is tanky enough to be durable and survive, I feel like Nick could actually have an 0-6 lobby, which would be absolutely like unprecedented with how much dominance we've seen from him so so far, but this could be really tough. Resto Druid is typically also a very hard healer as a boomkin, and there's 2 of them. It doesn't really synergize with you, and we're seeing that right now. Nick is constantly on the back foot. He's trying to get some distance. He gets stunned up on his clone. Big Mix is connecting, and it looks like Trent is connecting as well. Chaz into a stun. They need to get a freezing trap here. They get it. A full trap. Clone on MVQ. Chaz has to trinket, and that's Barkskin trinket overlap from Chaz and Nick, and he's constantly on the back foot, but now Tuna's into the stun. Are they going to swap to Tuna? It looks like they want to. They're just poking him, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill him. Do they really have enough damage to take him down right here? He's in bear form with Barkskin, Heart of the Wild. I'm doubting it. They're going to clone him low. I like the clone, denying those cooldowns. Now swap over back to Big Mix or Tren. Full bash over on the Demon Hunter. Big hunt comes in from MVQ. Nick gets silenced, though. Big Mix, as soon as that freezing trap comes off cooldown, if they can control MVQ with a clone, they can definitely win the game. Basically right here on the next setup, there's the trap. MVQ immediately ducks over and reverses it instantly. Now no reverse for the next trap. That's the main win condition point. Big Mix needs to survive to 1 more freezing trap, and then they need to run him down, but nice stun comes in from Tren, keeping up the pressure, forcing the thorns. Likely the Heart of the Wild here in a moment from Nick. He's just dying. Big heal from Chaz, but Chaz is just getting soloed by Big Mix. Big Mix is all over the map, but now look at Tuna's team. They're all dead. He's into a full clone. Nick could be the game-winning clone. He trinkets. He's looking for another. He gets a clone on the trinket, and Tren has to nether walk. He's at such low health. Big Mix is trying to go for the kill at the same moment. Big Mix, can he do it? He has to turtle. He's too low, but Tuna gets blasted right there by Nick and MVQ out of nowhere. What a photo finish. I was really thinking that Nick's team was going to be out, but they managed to pull it off right in the final moments.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing for the Balance Druid is if you do find those Cyclones, it just puts you in such a good spot. Also, the fact that there's Resto Druids, we've been talking about it quite a bit, right? Like, if you have the ability to swap around on HOTS quite a bit, it can be really, really powerful. So doing those healer swaps, I think the Balance Druid is actually going to excel in that situation. So, you know, it is going to be difficult for Nick as he's likely going to be the main target here. But if he is landing those Cyclones, they are swapping around. I feel like he's actually not in too bad of a position, but we'll see how this one does go. MBQ and Tren going to be in the midfield right now as they do opt to go after Chaz right away in this match. Big Mix also taking quite a bit of damage, so great pressure here early on for Team 2, but it is going to be Chaz who's still taking the brunt of it in tree form. There's almost no chance that he dies, but they force out that cooldown, and that's going to empower his healing quite a bit. Let's see if he can hold on or what kind of momentum his team's going to be able to find right now. Big Mix right now into a full Cyclone. MBQ all over Nick. He has to weather the storm. He's taking quite a bit of damage. A full trap lands here onto Chaz. He's trying to be able to reverse it to make a swap on Tuna. He might just get dropped with the Solar Beam into a stun combo. Absolutely lethal. Tuna barely holds on, but that was a close call.
Ooh, Tuna gets cloned by Chaz. Chaz is getting cheeky right now. Might look for a double. Gets a second Cyclone. Looking for a third. Is he going to get a third? He's not going for it. He's staying on his Trents, trying to eat that freezing trap by standing on his Force of Nature Trent right there. And it looks like he might be able to soak it. No, Big Mix snipes the trap despite Chaz's positioning. So Trent is going to duck over, reverse magic that trap, and get aggressive, going after Tuna once again, trying to catch him. He's got Heart of the Wild. Is he going to die through it? He's got Renewal. He's going to blast his health back up there. But it looks like Darkness came down from MVQ. He didn't trust Tuna to survive there. And now he's cloned up, and there's no Darkness for MVQ. He's low. Is he going to go down? He's got Netherwalk. He's going to trade that out. Big defensive cooldowns off to the side of Tuna, Big Mix, and MVQ. They don't have a lot left. They're trying to make a miracle happen onto Chaz, but he pre-bears the stun. He's fine. Now Big Mix is just dead. Turtle likely needs to come through. He gets cloned low health. Tuna is dead. Full bash. He has to trinket Tranquility, and it's just constant pressure from the side of Tren and Nick. Darkness comes down from Tren preemptively, anticipating damage on that freezing trap. Nice pre-darkness, but he still might die anyways. He's getting unlucky. He has to Netherwalk on that vengeful retreat, but maybe he's going to go down out of it. Nice clone from Tuna. Low health onto Tren's Demon Hunter. Chaz is stunned up. He's going to struggle to recover it. They come out with 1 second left. He shadow melts, avoids a hit, but he still might just die. Chaz is doing his best. He's into the scatter, trying to recover. Chaz needs a big run here after he went 1-5. He really needs a 6-0. Nick is in trouble, though. Is he going to survive? He's down to 10%, dying through Heart of the Wild. Chaz's Tranquility is doing nothing. It immunes some crowd control, but now he's imprisoned low, denying some damage, denying the recovery. They stun him off the end, and he's going to go down. Tuna strikes back. Big Mix puts a point on the board, and this is looking a lot more even now. MVQ is the one taking a lead. It's going to be up to Tren to start trying to break this lead and advantage.
Yeah, but I mean, it's difficult for Tren, right? Because now he's with MVQ. So it's kind of an awkward spot to be in. You need to pick up wins for yourself, but if you win, you're also putting MVQ further ahead. So tough spot to be in, but obviously you just got to try to win. I would say I gotta feel like the double Demon Hunter's advantaged here. Big Mix is probably gonna have to play that Diamond Ice Trap. Dealing with double reverse is just kind of a nightmare. I would say MBQ and Tren gonna be moving forward here. Two of the hardest hitting Demon Hunters in the entire game, and they are just going after Chaz. If you are Chaz, you are afraid. You trinket and Barkskin immediately. So making the trades to survive. And now they're just going to be swapping around on Hots, going after Nick quite a bit. But you bet Chaz is going to be the target in just a moment. Big hunt coming in as MBQ and Trent are all over him. Cyclones from Nick are the only thing keeping Chaz alive during this moment. It's a lot of pressure. At the same time, though, they need to be careful. It does look like Tuna seems to be the main target here. Good crowd control. You have a scatter onto Trent, a full Cyclone on MBQ, and that's giving Chaz a little bit of a room to breathe.
Oh my god, huge damage from Double Demon Hunter. I feel like Double Demon Hunter has to be favored here. It's just massive pressure onto anybody that they go after. The Hunter and the Boomkin, they're both getting shredded down. Clone on Nick at low health. Nice clone from Tuna, denying the recovery. Into another clone from Tuna, and Chaz gets swapped to. He has to Tranquility. Really good crowd control there, despite getting pressured. He's really doing his best to try and get a win. I feel like whichever Druid can win as Hunter Boomkin is probably going to win this lobby. I think it's definitely the weakest comp overall, especially given that there's Resto Druids. You can't root beam, and Nick is falling behind. He might just die right now. Chaz is into a Cyclone. Can he do it? Can he keep him alive? Into a stun now. Double Demon Hunter pressure is too much. They bash MVQ, doing anything that they can to stay alive for a couple more seconds, and it buys them just enough time. Big Mix is trying to solo Tuna, but there's no way as a Survival Hunter you're going to kill a Resto Druid by yourself. Nick is trying to back him up with the Stampede. They go for a stun, but he's taking 0 damage. Chaz, on the other hand, is not taking 0. He's in bear form, just praying that he can survive. Frenzied Regen, trying to recover. Clones over onto Trent. MVQ swapping over. Imprison on Chaz. I-beams connect. Big pressure. Tuna looks for a clone. I'm not sure if he was able to get that clone there. Now Nick getting swapped to Essence Break. Big damage on Nick with that huge combo. They scatter defensively to try and get Nick away from the engagement, but they're still just all over him. These I-beams just connecting so much pressure. Big swap onto Chaz now. And, God, that's it. That's it. You're not coming back from that. Okay, so Tuna has an opportunity here. If he can win as Boomkin Hunter, I think that will be the healer that goes 4-2 in this lobby. And if they don't, then it's probably 3-3.
Goodness gracious. MVQ is looking good so far, up 3 in this lobby. If he can win another one here, he's in a great spot. I mean, we need to keep in mind, going into this lobby, MVQ had 3 wins. So now he's up to a total of 6. Nick had 3 as well, so he's up to a total of 4. Tren was unfortunately the one in Calvish's lobby, so he's only up to a total of 3 at this point. So in terms of points, this is rough. Big Mix definitely needs to win this one as well. It's just going to be, you got to win with MVQ at this point. Nick going to be taking some damage early on. Diamond Ice Trap here on a tune at the same time, though. Chaz taking quite a bit of damage. Tren just going on an absolute solo mission, almost taking him down. He forces out the Bark Skin as well as the Trinket. That was an absurd amount of damage coming in from Tren. Really nicely done, and now Chaz could be in trouble in the meantime, though. Tuna taking quite a bit of damage, and Big Mix. These teams are just all over the place, just swapping off of Hots as much as possible, trying to pressure these Druids in every little way that they can. Full Fear does land. Big Mix, though, needs to be careful. Nick taking damage. Everyone's health is looking like a yo-yo here with these Demon Hunters. This pressure is just so high.
Well, clone onto Trent. Nick's in trouble. Is he going to go down? Tuna, what are you going to do? You don't have a lot of options. He's dropping the Trents, trying to get some heals going. Clone onto MVQ. Nice clone. Nice peels coming in from Nick. Stun onto Chaz. He pre-bears. He's going to be fine. He charges MVQ. Tuna's looking for crowd control off that wild charge. Not able to find it. Chaz gets swapped to, and Trent has constantly been gunning down for Chaz and trying to take him out, but Nick is falling behind every time that he does it. Big Mix, suddenly huge pressure comes out. Trent makes a swap. Trent needs this if he wants to get back into the contest. They get a clone on Big Mix, low health. They need to swap the clone over to Chaz, but he knows that he Trank immunes the swap, and he can't get it over. Hots are coming back up. Big Mix will recover. Nice read by Chaz. Now line of sighting, avoiding the clones from Nick. Big Mix disengaging in, gets the crowd control. Freezing trap on Tuna. They drop down the darkness. Trent is not playing any games right now. He's dropping darkness immediately and then going for a swap. Can he finish Chaz? He pre-bears. Darkness comes down from MVQ with Bear and Barkskin. There's no way that Chaz should be. He ran out of the darkness. That is a throw. That is a throw. He ran out of the darkness, and Trent is suddenly back in the running. And Chaz, man, I feel like he's close to out of the contest. He went 1-5 in the last lobby, and man, if he goes 1-5 again, he's out. There's no chance.
I mean, he's already in a really bad spot, but if you win these next 2, it's going to be decent. But yeah, this is going to be tough. We got MVQ and Nick teaming up here with Tuna. This is NA versus EU, this matchup right here. I do feel like this is a tough one for Big Mix, honestly. Like, Big Mix is in a lobby with 2 Demon Hunters and 3 Druids. Like, he is definitely the odd man out in this lobby so far, but hopefully he can battle it back here, put a few more points on the board. There's only 2 rounds left for this particular group of players. They need to earn as many as they can if they want to make it into the finals. Let's see what they can do. Early pressure here on a Nick with a Diamond Ice onto Tuna. He has to Trinket, so a big Trinket there from Tuna as well as the Barkskin from Nick. Defensively puts Team 1 in kind of a rough spot.
Big pressure on Big Mix. MVQ's pressuring Chaz, trying to go after him. Stun into the hunt. Bark's going to be forced on the Elysian Decree. They solar beam him out anyways. They're going all in. Will he choke? Will he go down? Huge pressure. Huge heals come out. Chaz manages to recover throughout that assault. He's not going to be going down anytime soon. Tuna is trying to make a run here. He gets stunned up. They're swapping to him. He pre-bears. They drop Darkness anyways. MVQ not playing any games. Wants to make sure that they survive through that opening pressure of the Survival Hunter cooldowns and the Demon Hunter Metamorphosis. Tuna into the trap. Nick getting pressured. Is he going to go down right now? He's got Heart of the Wild. He's down at half. He can't play games. Tuna into a full Cyclone. Nick is on the run, and it looks like he should be able to get away. He's so far away from everybody. He's starting to heal himself back up, but Big Mix is charging in, looking to reconnect. Here come the Death Chakrams, but he fakes the kick. Nick should be able to get a clone here with that precognition. He's immune to crowd control. He gets it on Chaz. They're getting offensive with that clone, but Tuna falls behind. He has to trank, and even despite the crowd control, it's Nick's team that looks like they're falling behind. Bash now into Chaz. Big swap with that I-beam, but they trap up Nick. They're trapping up the Boomkin. They're swapping to Tuna. They silence him out of the stun. Can they take down Tuna here? He's in bear form. Fury of Elite Eagle is channeling through. Big Mix is rotted down. Chaz is struggling. Both teams are struggling. This is such an insane amount of DPS in this lobby right now. Nick is now low. He's going to Barkskin Heart of the Wild. Tuna repositions, trying to get away from the Demon Hunter. Doesn't want to get swapped to by Tren. Dropping down those Trents. Demon Hunters going at each other. It looks like a swap onto Tuna, but if Tren overextends, he could die. He's got no trinket. He has to be careful. They're making a swap. Here comes the hunt. Big Mix uses the Feign Death on the hunt, negating a lot of its damage. Tren gets cloned on low health. Tuna into a freezing trap. Nick jumping over, looking for a Cyclone. Gets it onto Chaz. Big Mix in trouble. No trinket. He needs to trade here. He's going to pop that aspect of the turtle and not play any games, not mess around. I mean, Big Mix is behind on points right now. He only got 2 from the last one, and now he needs to try and get 3 if he wants to get into that top final qualification and earn the money. $10,000 on the line. A lot of pressure right now, and their defensives are slim, and I think this is it for Big Mix. Big pressure. Chaz gets kicked, and Tuna is now on a tear. Chaz will fortunately have double Demon Hunter in the final round, but if he can't win as double Demon Hunter, I mean, even if he can, I think he's out. 1 and 5 and 2 and 4. That's not enough.
You're done. Yeah, you're toast. Like you're already behind Meep, right? Like, so you're behind Meep. Tuna is again obviously going to be ahead as well, but big one here is MVQ, and I feel like MVQ is in such a good position. Already had 3 going into this one. If he can pick up 5 here, that's a guarantee, I want to say at this point. So he's going to be looking good. Let's see if him and Trent can do it. If Chaz can put another point on the board. Tuna already looking good, but Big Mix unfortunately in a lot of trouble here unless he can pull off a win.
Oh, big swap onto Tuna, double Demon Hunter. He's just instantly tranquility. Tuna's like, I know how hard you're going to hit me. I'm not messing around. Big swap on Chaz. Is this a miracle? Can they take out Chaz right now? It's Boomkin Hunter versus double Demon Hunter. It would be an absolute miracle if they can pull off a win here. Nick getting blasted. Look at that pressure. He's down to below half instantaneously. Double Elysian Decree. Insane damage. Another hunt. Big swap over onto Tuna once again by MVQ. Trent is looking to back him up as well. He's into bear form, but bear doesn't really matter with how much magic damage both these Demon Hunters do. They're all over him. He's got Iron Bark up, just running and bear tanking damage. He gets caught in a stun out of bear form. No trinket. Big damage, but with Barkskin Heart of the Wild, he makes it out alive here. Clones coming in from Nick. Good peels and support for the team. Chaz is stacked up. Nick might just die. Huge damage. That's it, man. I think there's no way. And Chaz will get that 1 point. MVQ with a 5 lobby, and that's definitely putting him in a good spot for this last lobby to qualify to the top 4.
I mean, I feel like for MVQ, he's basically earned his spot. He's got to get top 4, and when you have these type of lobbies where, you know, one player like Calvish, for example, is going 6-0 and MVQ is winning 5, you're denying points from everyone else, right? And there's only so many opportunities that these players do get. So I think MVQ is in a tremendous position. I can't really see a world where he doesn't make it with 8 points. I don't think there's not enough points for other people to pass him. So I think at this point, unless Calvish has a complete throw, which I don't imagine, I think the DPS that are pretty much guaranteed at this point, depending on how this next one goes, is Calvish and MVQ. And it's going to be up to everyone else to kind of battle it back and earn as much as they can.
Yeah, looks like here, Super Tees, if you have the bracket back open, we have Infernion, Kearney, Meep, Calvish, WizK, and Vanguards for our last match of the semifinals. And then, guys, we'll be putting together the wins and losses and giving you the players for the finals today. But the big name has been Subtlety Rogue, and it's been Calvish. Let's not talk about what he can do well, because we've gone down that road. What can the other players in this lobby do, Super Tees, to shut down Calvish? Because they've got to know that's got to be one of their game plans.
I mean, some of the hardest specs for Sub-Rogue are going to be Ret Paladin, Shadow Priest, and Demo Lock. Now, 2 of the 3 are there. If Infernion was Demo, I would actually think this is not a good Sub-Rogue lobby, like, at all. But as Destro, I think it's gonna be hard for Infernion. I think he's the main weak link in terms of defense on those classes. Not as a player, but as far as the classes, he's gonna be the most fragile. And the comps, other than the Warlock Shadow Priest, which is a pretty good one. It's not very common, right? Like you don't see a lot of Destro Ret, so this could be really chaotic. I don't think Calvish is guaranteed this lobby. I think it's gonna be he's gonna have to work for this. Like if he wins this lobby, then it's definitely more than just Sub Rogue is good. I think.
I think my prediction for this lobby, and I love this person, so please don't get me wrong, but I think Vanguards is really going to struggle here because he's gonna think about the comps that Vanguards has to play into. He's gonna have to fight Shadow Priest, Sub Rogue, Destro Warlock, and then he has to play a cleave into Shadow Priest, Destro. So every single matchup that Vanguards has, I think, is a rough one. So I think Vanguards is going to have a real struggle here. I hope that he does well, but I feel like compositionally, in almost every single match that he plays, he's going to be disadvantaged.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me take you in, and we'll see what's happening. Maybe you can give us some thoughts on the arena and how maybe that will favor or be against the Sub Rogue.
All right, we're jumping in. We've got Kearney on Disc Priest. We got Meat Monk, I think, who is in the lead as far as healers, but he needs to do well here, given Tuna's performance in that last round. So Meat Monk, if he wants to be in #1 position, he's going to need a big run. And fortunately for him, I feel like he's going to do well. I feel like Mistweaver does so good into Shadow Priest. He got the Shadow Priest both lobbies in a row. And also, like, Disc Shadow is not, like, the best overlap. You don't really want your healing spec and your DPS spec lined up together. So this is a big opportunity for Meep. The only downside is that Calvish, right? Like, Sub Rogue, it can be really tough as a Mistweaver. So there's a lot of counters and counter backs in this lobby, and it's really tough to predict because these, again, aren't compositions that you almost ever see play out. So there's not really a lot of preemptive knowledge to apply and determine, like, oh, this thing beats this thing 100%. And with the dampening pace much faster in solo shuffle, things like Ret Destro might actually be better because they don't have Mortal Strike to reduce healing. So dampening is going to stack up fast, and that burst damage is going to be there. They get a sap on the Monk. They're opening up on the Ret. Fear onto the Warlock. Triple CC. Nice start here from Calvish, Mystic Mac, and WizK isolating Vanguards, but unfortunately they really only get his Fireblood racial there and his Shield of Vengeance. They're trying to kill him through it. Maybe they can just randomly destroy him. Huge heal comes in. That was Lay on Hands. I like that Vanguards is using that early because it's going to get reduced by dampening, but it can also be a bit risky because it puts you on Forbearance and it's not guaranteed to keep you alive.
Yeah, it can be a little bit rough, but it looks like he will be stable for the time being. Meep, of course, is going to have his Trinket and Life Cocoon. WizK taking a huge hit of damage. Needs to be careful. They overlap the Void Shift. Actually, WizK just decides to trade out the Void Shift. Just wants to get the healing and keep up the aggression, not going to Dispersion. So playing a little bit scared there, but in the meantime, a huge setup on Infernion. Really scary. That's the Life Cocoon as well as the Unending Resolve. A big overlap there, but that was a panic moment. I think it kind of warrants that.
All right, barrier comes down. They got to kill that Observer. It's just owning WizK at the moment. Who are they going to set up on? Is it another going Vanguards? I think it's got to be the Lock. They just got his wall, but he's in barrier. It looks like they want to go on Vanguards. I would really like to see a swap here. Cheap shot onto the healer. Nice Sanctuary from Vanguards instantly. That gets Meep able to access the leg sweep and stuns Calvish and WizK. So good synergy there between Vanguards and Meep. Meep fakes out the interrupt of Calvish. Nice fake cast on Meep there. WizK's getting pressured. He's kicked. He comes out of that interrupt and immediately presses Disperse as his Priest is put into that paralyzing. You have to start kiting away, and Kearney's really going to have to consider these pain suppressions pretty soon because WizK's running out of options to trade in terms of defense. He's used every personal that he's got. Hammer of Justice, but now there's pressure on Calvish. Infernion is free casting in the midfield, getting those immolates, working towards those interdimensional rifts. He ports away during the Gouge and Fear. He's trying to kite Calvish, but Calvish does catch up. He's going to pop that Dark Pact. Is it going to be enough? WizK is there. He's going for the Mind Games. Big pressure. Void Torrent. Massive damage in onto the Warlock. Will he survive? There's nothing for him, really. Life Cocoon in one more second. Life Cocoon comes off cooldown for Meep and makes a miracle save. And now Vanguard is trying to get aggressive, trying to turn this around, hammering down some damage. But Calvish, WizK, and Mystic Mac, they know that they're going to play around their goes and their crowd control, so they're trying to just kite away and avoid the Destro at this moment. But Calvish got left behind. He's into the stun. Big combo of damage. Can they take this away from Calvish? He steps back in, gets a Gouge onto the Monk. WizK's looking for the Fear out of the Gouge. Cheap shot onto the Warlock. No trinket for... Oh, Meep does have trinket. He trinkets right away, but as he trinket into another CC, he's going to Aura Mastery and immune the silence. Nice play from Meep. Meep is making insane plays. The fake on the kill. kick right there from Calvish. The silence immunity with his T earlier on. If he didn't make these fake casts and these immunity plays, Infernion would be dead. But even despite his best efforts, he's almost out of mana. They need to make a play. They force the Void Shift. They're close to the kill. Meep is hard carrying. He's knocking Calvish into the wall. Meep is owning Calvish right now into the Quaking Palm, into a full fear from Infernion, and Vanguards is going for the kill. He's tearing him up. He kicks out the healer, and he's looking to try and close it. I think he should just bubble for the kill right now, but Dispersion comes up in 1 second, so maybe it won't matter. He's interrupted on a heal. Infernion ports away from Calvish, gates away during the gouge. Nice kiting, but Vanguard's, no, the Massive Spell on the bubble. He bubbled before the kidney shot. This is big trouble. Into a fear onto Meep. He tried to get there to save him, but he's dead. Fireblood, it doesn't matter, and he gets taken down, and I wish we had a replay for that. What did he bubble? Did he bubble a cheap shot? It seemed like he literally bubbled 1 second before the kidney hit him on the MD. Like,
he listened to you.
Yeah, was he listening to me saying, I hope he bubbles to kill him?
I hope he bubbles for the kill.
Gets MD'd and oh, he bubbled a blind. We got the replay of chat. We got the replay of chat to save us. So he got blinded and he bubbled it and he got MD'd. If that MD didn't come through, I mean, he would have. I mean, Calvish. That was such a head game for Calvish. Like, I bet Vanguard's gonna bubble this because I was thinking like I would just bubble right now, man. Like they're dead. So Calvish is like, I know he's gonna bubble, so I'm gonna blind him. He's gonna bubble. You'll MD and we'll just kill him.
Yeah, it seems good until the smoke bomb comes down. You get stun locked in 1D. That's super unfortunate there for Vanguards, but that was, I feel like they were winning that game. That is super duper unfortunate. Let's see what they can get done here. It's going to be Shadow Priest, Destro Warlock, and I got to favor the Shadow Priest, Destro Warlock here, but you never count.
Oh my god, Vanguards!
Yeah, Vanguard's almost just completely dying. The Infernals are down right now. It's a lot of damage. Kidney shot into cheap shot onto Meep. Calvish doing a great job getting some early control. Throws out the blind. Manages to get the trinket. Goes for a kick. I mean, Calvish is just on fire. Meat Monk can't control his character. Finally getting some heals. Now into a gouge. I mean, this is absolutely ludicrous. Maybe they might be able to get a win. If Calvish can keep up this level of control on the Meep, they might be able to sneak in a kill, but big Chaos Bolts incoming. The longer they stand in the open, the more difficult it is. Barrier gets dropped, but it gets countered by Meep. A beautiful Ring of Peace is going to deny that completely, and Vanguard's now having to play a little bit of defense, retreating away from the fight.
Oh, Meep playing max range with the Wizard comp. I like the positioning, but Calvish sees him. Oh, he ports away from Calvish. Calvish steps over. They could kill Meep if they're not careful here. Gouge into fear, I think. Oh, but he gets silenced. He can't. Nice silence by WizK, denying the fear. And now Kearney's into fear. Vanguards is in trouble. He bubbles. Massive spell from WizK. Connects onto the bubble. Vanguards is running for his life. Calvish is low health. He's going for a kill on Meep by himself? There's no way that he's going to find the damage he needs. Vanguard is trying to get there, but Vanguard says nothing. He's getting shredded. He has to life swap. Chaos Bolts are incoming. They're leaving the Warlock open. Free casting Destro Lock. This is going to be so hard for Mystic Mac to recover from this position. He's doing what he can. He's got Archangel. He's trying to fake cast the interrupts. It's hard being a healer, and there's no casters on your team to soak interrupts for you. Now he's into a full fear. No Sanctuary. Vanguard's, I think, is dead. He's on forbearance. He's on the run. Is he going to survive? He dispels off some dots, but it's not enough. Meeps closes out the game with that Shadow or Touch of Death, and now ties it up 1-1 with Mystic Mac. And Calvish, he's not running away with this lobby. It's actually WizK leading in the DPS.
Like the most fun thing in the game as a Mistweaver monk, just knowing that someone's in touch of death range and you're just in hot pursuit with your little chi torpedoes sprint and you manage to land it. Meanwhile, Vanguard's just like, oh god, I'm dead. He knows it. Everyone knows it. Touch of Death slips through and Beat Monk is able to claim a win. So far, WizK up in this lobby, but I still kind of stand with my initial assessment of this matchup that this is just an awful ret lobby. Like I don't think you could make a worse ret lobby, to be honest. So I think Vanguard's going to he's going to have to try to sneak in some wins here, but I think it's going to be really difficult for him.
Oh, WizK, or Calvish gets an opener here. Cheap shot on WizK, sap on Mystic, into a fear. Sanctuary from Vanguard. Instant Sanctuary right there. If there's going to be a way for him to win, it's going to be those fast reaction times. Like, Vanguard has been playing for a long time, but his reaction time is not old or not aging, but he's still just dying anyways. Oh my god, the damage is disgusting. Divine Shield. WizK is just dead as well. Almost a double kill right off the rip here for Infernion, as Divine Shield gets forced, and now Vanguard has to be so hesitant about making moves. I mean, Calvish has every other tool in his box. He can Shadowy Duel him, and he might even be able to smoke bomb him. Like, he's gonna be in so much trouble. Vanguard's just trying to get some damage, but here comes the crowd control. Gouge onto Mystic Mac, into the kidney. Is Calvish gonna go for a full fear from Infernion? Vanguard's on the run, gets caught by the cheap shot. Everybody is in crowd control. If Infernion can get there and get any damage, Vanguards might just die. Double sweep. The life swap comes through. WizK might have to disperse. They're killing him through Void Shift. It might even be Mystic Mac's Void Shift in a second. Meep is finally free, gets the team aggressive, keeping them top. Mystic Mac trying to go for ultimate penitence, but he goes into the kidney. Sanctuaried again instantly by Vanguards. Mystic Mac keeping the team as healthy, as he can, but he's so tough for him to recover. I'm wondering why he's playing a Gnome Priest here with no Moonkin, unless that's just his only character, unfortunately, at this point, because he's not really getting any favor with that Gnome. Gouge on Mystic Mac. Calvish is setting up for the win, but he gets intercepted by WizK. Calvish has to trinket. They can punish Calvish. He trinketed offensively here. If Vanguards can survive, there's a big opportunity to punish, but he got the CC anyways. He got the sap. Vanguards is going down, and a huge heal comes in. Just in the nick of time, and Vanguard is actually alive here. So can they punish Calvish for that trinket? They're going after the Warlock instead, but I feel like that's their biggest opening, is pull the Rogue behind a pillar and get a stun and hope that he just chokes and dies at that point, because there's no other chance right now. The Warlock is there. Oh my god, these Chaos Bolts. Smoke Bomb comes. He edges the bomb. He Ring of Pieces the edge of the bomb. Insane play from Meep and Calvish. WizK and Mystic Mac, they wanted to get in there, and Meep's like, no way. You shall not pass. And drops down the Ring of Peace, and there is no entrance. Meat Monk is a bouncer, and that was insane.
Yeah, that was a really nice play there by Meep and Calvish, setting that up quite nicely. Now we do have a bit of a wizard setup here. It's going to be Infernion, WizK, and Kearney grouping up. Let's see if they can take them down, or if Vanguard's going to be able to pull off a win. I'm kind of curious about this one. The nice thing about the double priest is you have double void shift, so it's a lot of saves that you have on your team with the double void shift. A lot of cooldowns they have to get through, and if Meat Monk isn't careful, like you mentioned, if you're a healer and you've got no casters on your team, you are very susceptible to interrupts and crowd control. At the very least, he's going to have Sanctuary from Vanguard, so we'll have to see if Vanguards can actually land that, keep him out of crowd control, and allow Meep to keep these two melee in the fight.
All right, Vanguard's getting aggressive. Wings is up, trying to pressure the Warlock. Really risky to push in against Wizard Cleaves as a ret right now. Nice life grip from WizK, pulling Infernion away so that he's going to be able to access that portal in the near future, but he's taking so much damage. He's going to have to start kiting, I think. Oh, no, a kick onto Mystic Mac, and Infernion falling behind, just trying to spam fears, but he's losing health rapidly. He's going to have to Soulburn Hellstone. He's dying through that. Vanguard's is owning right now. Big pressure, big damage. Calvish, stun bomb comes in, and this could be it. He's dying through wall. WizK, Master Spells, but he gets kicked on the Master Spell, and Infernion goes down. I can't help but feel like that was a throw. They weren't kiting it at all. They thought that they were tankier, I think, than they actually were, and that's going to cost them around there. Vanguard's is pulling in. He's trying to do his best, but I mean, given his first lobby, I think was 2 and 4, right? I feel like even if he wins the next two, it's not enough, right?
Something that guaranteed happened is Meep made it. It's over. Meep and Tuna are the healers that made it. They both have at least 7. There's no way that Kearney can catch up at this point. So Meep has officially made it into the finals. Tuna's in the finals as well. That does mean Chaz and Kearney are eliminated. And at this point, Kearney's just got to play his best and try to help these DPS pick up some wins.
All right, let's see if Kearney can get Infernion or Vanguards possibly back into the running for that top 4 DPS. It's $10,000 on the line. Calvish for sure is in at this point. WizK, he's trying to fight for a chance as well. He could still win 2 rounds here and get 4 potentially. Infernion's in so much trouble, looking like glass at the moment. Pain suppression comes through from Mystic Mac. Calvish goes for the kidney shot. WizK is now taking a lot of damage. Meep into the Repentance. Vanguards, if he can get these Repentances, that's how he's going to be able to carry the lobby. It's a lot of crowd control between Repentance and Fear and Stun and Silence. So any opportunity that Vanguards gets right now, he needs to take it. Mystic Mac pre-barriers, but they're actually going on Vanguards. He's going to grip Vanguards back into the barrier, slip around the corner here with the penance onto Calvish. WizK gets interrupted for a moment. Meep's going to immune interrupts, although that CS was just used, so it doesn't really need the Ore Mastery 100% right there. Pressure onto WizK, but Infernion is just dying, man. What is this damage? Calvish is all over him. Kidney shot on Mystic Mac. No Sanctuary available. Everyone's in crowd control. Infernion, is he going to die? He's just locked out right now. Double Fear comes in. Rot behind the pillar into the Paralyzed. Meep is on fire right now, man. Meep wants that money. Into the Quaking Palm, in range to go for the Touch of Death. Wall comes through. Is it going to be enough for Infernion here? Fear spam's coming out. Here comes the Repentance. Vanguard's is trying to turn it around, but Calvish is all over him. Void Shift from Mystic Mac at the last possible second. He might just die. Calvish is swapping over. Desperate Prayer comes out. Mystic Mac holds on by a thread. WizK was taking a huge exchange of damage amidst all that. He grips Meep behind the pillar, but he gets feared anyways. Big fear from Mystic Mac. Calvish has evasion up. Is it going to be enough to stay alive right now? He's down at half, and it looks like it will be. Meep is out of CC. Big heals come in. It's Infernion, who is in a world of trouble right now as Calvish CCs the entire team. Meat Monk goes for the Paralyze into a full blind, and Vanguard's bubbles. He knows his team is in trouble. He has to do something right now. He has to throw everything that he's got to keep Infernion alive right here and now. And can he do it? Can he keep him alive? Triple fear comes in from WizK, and I think that's it. Meep is there. They've got the stun. Touch of Death is about to connect, and he's not even going to go for it. Looks like Dark Pact is up. The Warlock is surviving with that shield for a moment, but how many more moments as Mystic Mac gets silenced? Vanguards get stunned, and Infernion is just flaming flailing to stay alive right now in this tournament. $10,000 on the line. Calvish steps over, goes for the gouge. Meep into the repentance, and suddenly Calvish is in trouble. Whiskey's in trouble. Infernion gets gripped away at 10%. He's in shadow or death range. Whiskey could go down. He disperses. They're trying to do anything that they can to have a shot at this right now, but they get denied. Meep tops the team, and he's in position. Paralyzed secured. Double leg sweep, and that is it. Meep is absolutely dominating.
Oh my God. I mean, that's a big surprise. We're going into round number 6 here. Meep up 4 wins in this one. Calvish, surprise, surprise, also doing an incredible job. Let's see, though. This is an opportunity for Vanguards and WizK to pick up another win. WizK, I think, definitely needs the win at this point. He had 3, so he is at a total of 6. So he actually passed Tren and is now tied with Nick. So if WizK can get another win here, I think he guarantees himself a spot in the finals as well. So really important round here for WizK. Let's see if he can get it done. I think he's the only one in this game that stands to make it into the finals at this point by winning this game.
All right, let's see. He's got to fight Destro sub. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage right now, and a lot of crowd control. Triple Infernal by Infernion. Immolate's loaded up, ready to go. He's got those dimensional rifts starting to be summoned in off to the side as he's pushing to get in line of sight. Triple Fear comes through. Stun onto Mystic Max. Silence onto the war. Calvish cloaks offensively. Calvish is going for an all-in here on the final round, and Meat blocks it with a revival to stabilize. Really respecting that trade from Calvish. Now trying to get in position. He immunes the interrupt there. Sorry, the interrupt goes on to WizK instead as Meep uses that Aura Mastery T. Now he's into the kidney shot. Vanguard doesn't have Sanctuary. Where's Calvish going to go with this? They could punish Calvish. Calvish is either baiting himself by cloaking like that, or he's trolling and he's going to throw. It's one or the other right now, and I'm really wondering what it's going to be.
Never seen a rogue die. Don't be silly. We've never seen Calvish die a single round, I don't think. At this point, WizK taking some pressure, using that desperate prayer to make himself stable. Calvish, though, I may have cursed him. He's down into death range. Can they take him down? Evasion is going to be traded. He's got the Hellstone if he needs it. Trades out the Shadow Blades. Looking to get aggressive here on the WizK. Smoke Bomb drops down. This could easily be the life cocoon it is. Meat Monk rolls in to save the day, but now they're just going after Vanguards. He doesn't have the healing to keep him alive. This could easily be the Divine Shield, but no, he does trade out everything he
Gouge,
can.
coil,
so
bolts, 2 bolts, 2 bolts.
Big damage. Vanguards can easily fall. This is a nightmare for WizK, but unfortunately, I don't think he's going to survive. Oh my goodness gracious. The swap dispersion coming in from WizK, saving the day, keeping his finals dreams alive for now.
WizK wants to get into those finals, man. It's $10,000 on the line. Your weekend is wasted off of one round. He has to win with Vanguards. Can he do it as Ret Shadow Priest? Big blast of damage incoming. Infernion has them pinned at the pillar constantly throughout this engagement. Ultimate Penitence getting big value on WizK. The barrier comes down to keep them offensive. Double Chaos Bolt dunking Vanguards and WizK. Meep, he's feared into the distance. Look how far away Meep is. Double fear from Mystic Mac off the pillar. Chaos Bolt's coming up from Infernion, and Vanguards has to bubble. Where's the Master Spell? Master Spell gets stunned by WizK. WizK still pulling out all of the stops to try and buy any sort of chance right now to get a win, but it's so slim. It is so slim right now that they're going to actually be able to pull this off. Silence onto the healer. Double fear from WizK. Trying his best. Meep rolls in, looking for crowd control. Mystic Mac might have faded that paralyzed there. Now a fear onto Meep, and there's no breakers. Triple crowd control. Infernion's in position. Rifts are about to be summoned, and Vanguards is down. Calvish with another huge lobby, 5-1. And we're going to have to break down the points earned here and see what we're going to need. Some tiebreakers, Torpid. Like, this seems a little bit hectic for the DPS.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's what we expect from Solo Shuffle. We are actually going to take a 10-minute break now. The Void.gg team's going to analyze all the numbers from the first 4 games, and then we're coming back to announce the final 6 that will be moving on for 3 matches of Solo Shuffle. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you guys are following the channel. Let us know in the chat who you think's advancing and who you think's is taking it all. We will be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's been done. We now know the top 4 DPS who are going to be in the finals and the top 2 healers. Before we jump into that, I want to say one more time that Void.gg has put on 3 tournaments now. They're going to be putting on more tournaments. Make sure you guys are following the Twitch. You don't want to miss out. They're doing everything they can to make sure that the tournament's out there, but still slips through the cracks, and some people go, oh, I wish I knew about this sooner. So do yourself a favor, follow the channel right now, and let's take a look at the bracket. Supatis, I'll let you start here. Taking a look here, we can finally see, the chat can see the top 4 DPS and the top 2 healers. What are your thoughts?
All right, so WizK, he got in there. He scraped in there. We got a Shadow Priest, we got a Demon Hunter, we got a Subtlety Rogue, and we got a Boomkin. We got a Mistweaver Monk and a Resto Druid. And they're just going to be going head-to-head with each other 3 lobbies in a row to determine who is going to be the champion. I feel like this is a tough one, honestly, for me to try and call. I feel like the Boomkin, like comp-wise, like Rogue Boomkin and Demon Hunter Boomkin are probably better than Shadow Priest Rogue and Demon Hunter Shadow Priest. But the Boomkin Shadow Priest comp, I'm not sold on that, especially with a Mistweaver healer in the lobby.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I just want to make sure the chat knows this, right? It's a $10,000 Void Solo Shuffle tournament. Now, the top 2 DPS and the top 2 DPS are fighting for the money. The 2 healers have qualified for the money, but they're fighting for more money. So the number 1 DPS will be taking home $3,000. The number 1 healer will be taking home $3,000. The number 2 healer will be taking home $2,000. And the number 2 DPS will be taking away $2,000. And slightly toxic, but the way it goes, 2 of the DPS who are playing in the finals are going to take home nothing, but they get to showcase themselves. Venruki, looking at this bracket, knowing the money that's on the line, which DPS do you think have the best shot, and which one of the healers do you think's taking home that first place prize?
That's really hard to say. When I think about all the games, I think Calvish is going to have really good games with WizK and really good games with the Druid. So most of his games are going to look really good. He's going to get to play Subtlety Rogue Shadow Priest and Subtlety Rogue Moonkin into a Demon Hunter. So my only fear for Calvish is when he has to actually play with MVQ, which makes it very scary for MVQ, right? Because like his rounds with the Subtlety Rogue, which I would say is for Calvish, he's probably the favorite in this the final brackets. The scary thing for MVQ is he has to win with Calvish, but he's the worst person with Calvish. So that's a really, really tough spot to be in for MVQ. And then who do I favor for that second place? Is it going to be WizK? Is it going to be Nick? I'm really not sure. And then your question, the other question is, who is going to have a better chance of actually beating Calvish between Tuna and Meat Monk? And the part of me feels like it's actually going to be the Mistweaver Monk that has a better shot. So I might actually favor Meat Monk here in these games over Tuna as the one that can actually potentially take down Calvish and deal with that burst. But I could be totally off on that one. We'll have to wait and see. I do like that both these healers are rewarded. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but both of these healers are already in the money round. We like to reward our healers here. So both of them in this finals, the stress is off a little bit, right? Like there's $1,000 extra on the line for getting first place, but both of them have already made a significant chunk of change for this weekend.
Yeah, I kind of love that. I do think that in World of Warcraft, everybody knows that there seems to be a lack of healers. So them both making it to the finals and getting that money pool, I think is amazing. And I do think that takes some pressure off the money, and now they can focus on just improving their gameplay to come out on that number 1 spot, because either one of them is going to be rubbing it in their face a little bit. I'm rooting for Meep myself. Chad, I don't know if you guys want to see the Mistweaver or the Resto Druid, but it's been nice to see the Mistweaver making those. Honestly, what I've seen a lot from behind the scenes here, Supatis, is the Ring of Peace production that Meep's been putting on for us. Tell us about how versatile the Ring of Peace is coming from that healer perspective, because we've seen quite a few uses where it changed the game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Meep's been using Ring of Peace, I'd say, more offensively. So, for example, Calvish stun locks somebody in a smoke bomb, so nobody can interact with anybody that's outside of the smoke bomb. When Meep will put a Ring of Peace on top of the bomb, which knocks people out, so they can't get in the bomb to help anybody, and they're just stuck. So, like that bomb Ring of Peace combo, it could be really good in this lobby if they execute on it like we just saw in that last lobby.
Yeah, definitely. I saw somebody in the chat catch that he knew the Warlock was going to port back, so he had preset the ROP to the Warlock's gate so that when he came back, it has that buggy effect where you're bumping into the wall and bringing that utility. Fenrica, you touched on it from a DPS side that, of course, we think Calvish is in a good spot, but this is a best of 3. Do you think that MVQ, WizK, and Nick the Rogue can adapt to not necessarily take out Calvish, but to win with him and to win against him?
Oh, that's what I kind of mentioned it. I feel like the person that is going to have the most difficult time with Calvish is MVQ. Like, MVQ is probably, like, here's the thing about Demon Hunters, right? Like, Demon Hunters, sure, they do a lot of damage. Sure, they can fly around the map and they're looking good. But once you kidney shot them, they're as good as dead, as all the Demon Hunter mains will tell you. So I think it's going to be a difficult spot for MVQ to be in. Every time he plays against Calvish, it's going to be a nightmare. And then on the flip side, he's going to have to play kind of a cleave setup, which might actually work. I mean, maybe we will see, the Subtlety Rogue, as well as the Demon Hunter do well. Map could also play. I don't know how we're doing maps. I don't know if it's just completely random or what, but it looks like our first battleground will be Mugambala Arena. So potentially on the bigger maps, WizK and Nick the Druid are going to have more opportunities to actually pick up wins. And on the smaller map, it's going to be a little bit more favored towards, MVQ and the cleave setup. So I'm really curious to see how it does play out. I think it's great we're doing 3 different lobbies and really solidify, who wins these.
Absolutely. I've taken us into the arena. Supatis lead the way here with, round 1. Which side's taking it? Supatis, Tuna, Calvish, and WizK, or Meep, MVQ, and Nick the Druid to start things off?
I feel like this could be an 06 MVQ angle just because of what we talked about. Like, Subtlety Rogue Shadow Priest, really good at killing Boomkin and Demon Hunter. But Demon Hunter Rogue is not a good comp when you play together. So, like, the Calvish could absolutely tear this up, maybe go 6-0, or MVQ goes 0-6. And I mean, both of those are very volatile results. And if it happens to be Calvish goes 6-0, and then it comes down to damage, you don't want to be in a tiebreaker with a Demon Hunter or a Boomkin, I think, as a Shadow Priest. So WizK's got to be a real playmaker here. I don't think he can rely on just winning on damage in this lobby.
And it's going to be a lot of momentum for these teams. We do get our first game underway. Cheap shot on MVQ. He's getting stun locked. Decent heals coming in. Looks like Meat Monk will be able to keep him alive. I do think that was the Restoral, just trading that out very early on, not wanting MVQ to really have to use too much. Full blind does land, though. Does he do make a swap on Nick the Druid? He might just get absolutely destroyed in bear form right now with Barkskin. That's enough to survive, but Calvish, in the meantime, under fire, forced to trade out the evasion. Tuna trades out the Iron Bark as well. Both teams exchanging blows, but I will say I do feel like WizK and Calvish are slightly ahead here.
Oh, Calvish is going for the kill right now. Nick is in trouble. Heart of the Wild doesn't matter. Calvish just eats him alive. Cloak of Shadow's offensive there with the Shadowy Duel, immuning any possible crowd control, and just absolutely chomps him up. And that's going to be the difficulty right there. I think Calvish is just going to eat, man. There's no way Calvish is not coming out number 1. I honestly am starting to think this is going to be who is going to fight for number 2.
No. I agree 100%. And I also feel like there's a little bit of a mental endurance here. Imagine going into 18 rounds of solo shuffle against Calvish in a row. Like,
hey, maybe start burning out.
Are you kidding me? This guy, I don't know how, I feel like Calvish, I've thought he was 14 for like many years, so I don't know how old he is now, but this guy's got the young man endurance. I think he's got the edge in terms of that.
All right, MVQ tries to shadow meld the cheap shot, doesn't hit it there. Calvish holds it. Big damage coming in from Calvish onto MVQ. And again, Boomkin Rogue is so scary for a Demon Hunter. They're going to swap over to the Shadow Priest, though, as they force defensive cooldowns on MVQ. And almost, oh my god, WizK's just dead. He's just dead. Dispersion comes out at the last pulse. Now he's on Tuna. Calvish is all over the place. Nobody is safe. Shadow stepping up to Tuna on the top side. MVQ is trying to peel him away, but he's trying to pressure a Rogue. You can't pressure him. He's going to bash him. Maybe he can punish him. Is this the punish? Is this the miracle? Meat Monk denies the kill. Trinket Life Cocoon. But they do try and capitalize on Calvish's positioning. They blind Tuna low. Calvish in position to maybe even get a sap here. He's going to go into stealth. He gets a gouge. He's not able to drop combat. And I think that's going to be it for crowd control. He steps over onto WizK behind the pillar. Big dunk of damage. WizK trinkets out and fears them off. Trying to reposition. Tuna's going to drop down to bottom side. Typhoon could be a bit risky here. So WizK's going to jump up. And now Calvish got left behind. Is Calvish going to be able to... He's just going for the kill. Sorry, MVQ got left behind. Cheap shot combo. Massive... They get Trinket Nether off of a DR, triple DR cheap shot there. Now they kidney the healer. They're swapping onto the Shadow Priest. raised, and Calvish just never runs out of damage. Look at this. It's so disgusting. He never runs out of damage. Whiskey's on 1%, barely gets out of the bomb to Void Shift over to MVQ, and now Whiskey's kicked on heals. He's not going to recover. Full clone over onto Meep. A big opportunity, but Calvish just cloaks it away. Maybe he dies. He's being kind of greedy here. Has evasion available. He's going to hold it. Meep gets a big heal out here, and now no trinket on Whiskey, no trinket on MVQ, and no trinket on Tuna. Next CC chain wins the game right now for Calvish and Nick.
Yeah, let's see who they're going to be going after. I think it might be MVQ. Can they get the stun lock? He's trying to glimpse preemptive darkness, doing everything he can.
Got knocked out.
He's just dead. He gets knocked out. Oh no, Whiskey's in trouble. Cheap shot after cheap shot. And I think Whiskey's just outright dead. Gets kicked there by Calvish. Kicked to the curb. That is a quick 2-0 for Calvish. And I think it's interesting. I think Meat Monk is the youngest healer in this tournament, and Calvish is the youngest DPS. So we might be seeing the young blood. At this point, it's literally who can beat Calvish. Every single person in this game is just, I need to beat Calvish. You win a couple lobbies against Calvish, you're in a good spot. Because, I mean, from seeing these games so far, I would be absolutely blown away if Calvish does not get first place. Like, I think it's just going to happen. They're just all fighting for second now.
This is the round. This is the real round. Like, this is where Nick could maybe make a difference, I think, on the Boomkin. But Shadow Priest Boomkin into a Mistweaver is just like, how are you going to get pressure, man? Cheap shot on Whiskey, sap on Tuna, swap over to Nick. Calvish is looking to move in. He's in bear form. He's got Heart of the Wild. Nick, first global Heart of the Wild bear form. He's like, yeah, I'm not getting one shot. Is he going to die through it, though? He's in bear for the kidney. They swap off of it. They could go into Whiskey. Double fear. Nice punish by Whiskey with that silence double fear. And who are they going to go on? I feel like none of these are great targets, Rogue, Demon Hunter, or Mistweaver. They're trying to go after the Rogue, it looks like right now. Big Void Torrent from Whiskey. Here comes the Incarnation. Nick needs to get pressure. Huge swap onto Meep. Nice bash, catching Meep out of position. They drop a defensive bomb and defensive darkness on top of it, so Meep's not going to die there whatsoever, although those are 3-minute cooldowns, so they won't be able to protect Meep for the second Incarn. So it's up to Nick to spam clones and get his team to that second Incarnation, which is 2 minutes away.
Here we go. Let's see what they can do. Right now, Meat Monk still has all his defensive cooldowns available. Calvish still has the Cloak of Shadows as well. Who are they going to be going after? Nick still has his Trinket. They're just outright killing him with damage. Do they have any crowd control here on a Tuna? Triple DR cheap shot does come in. A bit unorthodox there for Calvish, getting that diminishing
oh my god
stun, but he's
dead.
Dead. I mean, they don't even have crowd control. There's the Quaking Palm coming in from Meep. These little micro crowd controls onto Tuna might be enough for Nick to go down. He's just permanently in bear form, permanently dead. A full blind lands, and he is dead. Calvish is going to win every game.
Bro, he's going to go, what is that, 18-0? He's going to go 18-0. And it's going to come down to MVQ on damage. And we know he's going to win, right? Like, I'm trying to make
MVQ's just going to win on damage.
MVQ's just going to win on damage, and Calvish is going to go 18-0, man. These are the best players in the game. If he goes 18-0 against the best players in the game, look at the giant list of players in the tournament.
They got through Chun-Li, Fuse, Oz, Abrua, Naj, Mama Boy, Axton, Gelu, Snoopy, Jaw, Magnus, Tessia, to name a few. And now it's going to come down to Calvish. Just absolutely. I mean, let's see what happens. Like I said, this lobby does come down to who could beat Calvish. There's a lot of money on the line. If any of these DPS could beat Calvish, they're going to be in a really good spot.
Oh my god, he's a tall order. Nether. He used every button in the opener. And no, Meep is dead in a swamp. Oh my god, the bomb. He pre-gripped the bomb. If Whiskey didn't get that grip, Meep is dead anyways. He's actually just dead anyways. Oh my god, man. What is this dead? What is going on? Whiskey in a swap now. Nick's getting pressured. MVQ needs to carry. I feel like this is the best comp if they're going to win, is Demon Hunter on a Boomkin against Resto Druid with Shadow Priest Purging. I think this is their only chance, but he's in a kidney, no trinket. Calvish is just endless setups, endless damage into the cheap shots. Nick's in position, but it seems like their damage is a bit lacking here. MVQ is going to Metamorphosis, but they get a sap. He's on the run. They're going to swap back to Whiskey. Meep is rolling over as well to try and get there, but he gets cloned. Whiskey's going to line of sight. MVQ now gets cloned. Nick is popping off. Big swap on Meep. No trinket available. Is he going to go down to the kidney, into the bash? This could be it for him. Huge damage incoming. Star Search for follow-up. Fear comes in from Whiskey. Leg sweep comes through from Meep, and he makes a quick getaway. Now the Void Torrent on Calvish. They get his Cloak of Shadows, and yeah, I think MVQ and Whiskey, this comp is the comp that they have to win as if they're going to try and topple Calvish and start taking wins away from him. We see a full clone on Meat Monk. Whiskey, what are you going to do? He's got nothing. MVQ's just dead. He vengeful retreats away with the Chaos Nova. Ducks around the corner, but Meep is still cloned. Calvish is in pursuit. If Calvish gets there, MVQ is dead. He is chasing him down. Full Solar Beam. Whiskey life swaps, and that was a sick play. Quaking Palm from Meat Monk in that Solar Beam, holding Calvish at bay for a moment. He's just waiting for those stun DRs. He's resetting the dance. Double Fear, nice setup from WizK, but it's honestly just pausing the fight. There's no pressure. Gouge of the kidney. WizK is low. This could be dispersion. Just every time they land a stun, it's a major cooldown or almost a near-death experience. Calvish into a stun. They're trying to go after the Rogue, but honestly, I don't think the Rogue's going to die. Full kidney onto the Demon Hunter. No trinket. Void Torrent. Smoke Bomb gets edged, and Meep is there for the touch. He's trying to get there. He gets the Life Cocoon and stabilizes MVQ. Really good positioning from Meep. He's trying to do his best right now. There's $1,000 on the line for the healer. So if Meep can win a round like this against Calvish, like he's pretty much going to be guaranteed that money. Big swap onto Tuna. It's a last-ditch effort. He gets the double leg sweep. MVQ's going for it. Can he drop Tuna? Huge damage with the Essence Break. Are they going to not deny Calvish of his 6-0? Tuna survives. MVQ's cheap shot. Big swap onto Meat Monk in the kidney. WizK grips him away. They stun Calvish. They're trying to peel. Meep looks like he might be able to survive. WizK's interrupted on Shadow. Maybe not. Big Star Surge, and Calvish is now up 4 points in the first lobby of 3.
Wait, I just realized. Wait, somebody in the chat said this. That last game was just Ducomified, right? Tuna, Calvish, and Nick? That's literally just Ducomified playing in the solo shuffle tournament. That's crazy that 3 of their members made it to the final lobby here. That's kind of hilarious. But yeah, Calvish on an absolute tear. We are at round 5 of 18. Calvish is currently up 4 in this lobby. Everyone else is all tied up. Who is going to beat Calvish? There's a lot of opportunities. Let's not kid ourselves. These players have 18 opportunities to try to beat Calvish, excluding the rounds that they're obviously playing with him. So lots of chances. Let's see if they can do it.
Can Calvish go 6-0, 6-0, 6-0? It's 3 solo shuffle lobbies in a row with the best players in this competition. I mean, we had such insane names so far throughout this. It would be absolutely insane. Nice disarm from Nick on the opener on Calvish, denying that burst. He's going to cloak it off. Calvish just does not care. He's throwing caution to the wind, offensive Cloak of Shadows, going after Nick in bear form. He doesn't care what defense you activate. He's going to go through it. He's dropping a bomb. He absolutely doesn't care. This is such a bad manner bomb. Like, he's fine right there, and he's dying anyways almost. He's just might die. What is this pressure right now, man? Heart of the Wild, bear form, pre-bark skin. He's dead anyways. He's just dying. Calvish is just gunning him down start to finish. He can't leave bear, and he's eventually going to die. He kicks the clone. Calvish is going for the kill, and Tuna is struggling. Step over for the kidney shot. WizK mind games, if that connects. He gets the solar beam on the mind games. They can't let that connect. Calvish is going for a re-stealth. MVQ punishes him, stuns him up top, but they can't back it up without any damage here, unfortunately. They're going after WizK instead. Meep is looking stable. Fear onto Tuna, trying to take down Nick. That Heart of the Wild's not going to last forever, and I think as soon as it's over, Nick might just drop down dead. It's a couple more seconds left on it. He's in bear, anticipating the stun. They swap back to MVQ. Nick goes for a clone. Tuna goes for a clone. I like the double clone cast, so they can only stop one of them. They get the clone, but it gets mass dispelled. Calvish is just a machine right now, just a Terminator. Look at him going into the enemy team, just stacking in. Is he going to get punished? Is he going to get punished for this, man? He's just running into 3 enemy players with no trinket and not getting punished. Life Cocoon comes out. WizK at low health now, as he has that void shift, so he's got to be topped if he wants to rely on that as a safety net. Kidney shot on Nick. He pre-bears. Rop knocks Tuna off the side into the paralyzed. WizK's free casting mind spikes. Dark Ascension. Big pressure from WizK here as they swap over onto MVQ. Massive burst damage on MVQ. That's a trinket nether almost immediately. Meep is in a clone. Calvish could be in trouble. They need to dunk him. 1 second left on the stun. They have to dunk him now. He cloaks on 1% and he gets the life swap off, and they are going to survive. That was the one moment where I was thinking that they could take him down. They got 27 seconds before Calvish gets his trinket, and he's easily going to walk that off. They need to keep the pressure up on Calvish if they're going to take this.
Yeah, I mean, this is good pressure so far. Meep needs to keep him alive. This is a nightmare situation for WizK and Meep. You do not want to lose with Calvish on your team. You have to win, but Calvish might finally fall here in round number 5. MVQ's going for it, but no! Oh my God, he gets clotheslined! Oh! MVQ, we've all been there, buddy. You chase down the sub rogue, you get cheap shot, smoke bomb, and you are deleted. Oh my goodness gracious. Good night, MVQ. And this is what all the Demon Hunter mains are talking about. You just die in stuns.
What? Oh my God, he's 1 win away. Can he win? This is actually maybe also a good comp for Meat Monk, because Resto Druid actually struggles with dot classes, but Meat Monk struggles with rogues. I think everybody struggles with rogues, but particularly I think a Monk is going to struggle with a Rogue. So Meep has a good chance here, I think, honestly, of winning at least a round against Calvish. I would give Meep Monk the biggest odds of being the difference maker in this type of lobby, but he's sapped right away. Cheap shots, MVQ's on the Boomkin. He's in bear form. Barkskin, is it going to be enough, though? Demon Hunter damage and sub-rogue pressure also added into that is going to keep him pinned in bear form for the opening stage. This is dropping life cocoon. Meep Monk is literally not playing around. He's like, yep, I'm just cocooning you at full health. I don't care. I'm not going to have a repeat of what happened before. Paralyzed, cloak from Calvish, offensively and defensively here. Big value with the blind as they swap pressure onto WizK. They want to get back on Nick as soon as possible. He's got no Barskin. He's got a bash and a clone. He's peeling well. Meep Monk's rolling in for a double leg sweep. Oh, he does it a little bit too soon. Doesn't hit MVQ. Calvish is going to vanish away. Kidney onto Meep Monk, keeping the pressure up. Could swap to Meep. Now back onto Nick. He's going to renewal. Big hunt damage incoming. Tuna's got the efflorescence healing both of the melee DPS. Really good positioning on that, but he just gets solar beamed on his clone cast. But he's in such a good spot. WizK can't swap to him on the interrupt. Nick gets bombed. Is he just going to die? Nice fear comes in from WizK. Really the only thing keeping Nick alive right there. He's got Heart of the Wild. He's looking like he should be able to stabilize, but Meep needs to get some distance away. Oh my god, he's dying even without any CC. Meep is trying to avoid it. He gets caught in a stun from MVQ. Calvish steps over the Ring of Peace, looking to reconnect and close it out for the first possible 6-0 in this triple solo shuffle grand finals. $3,000 for first, $2,000 for second between the DPS and the healers, and Calvish is just looking absolutely unstoppable. Is anyone going to be able to punish him? Tuna dispels off the disarm. They drop the darkness. They're staying aggressive, looking to take down Nick as his Heart of the Wild is about to fade. I think in just a couple of seconds. Calvish steps over to Meep, gets the gouge, but Tuna's in a fear. This could be it. WizK with the carry! WizK with the carry! Is that what? How does he live? How does he live right there? Calvish trinkets out of the bash. I think Nick is as good as dead right here. He's got a full clone onto the healer. Meep needs to respect this. If he gets cloned on his trinket, it's GG. Cheap shots onto WizK. He's so close to it. Trinket cocoons. He gets it off just in time. Solar beam onto the clone of Tuna, denying the pressure. I can't believe he made it out alive there, but every time these close calls on Calvish is just making me think that Meep Monk is going to be a difference maker at some point in this triple lobby solo shuffle grand finals.
Yeah, what? That's one of his 9 lives. Calvish did proc cheat death there, though. So another setup like that, and Calvish is dead. Such a heartbreaker moment, though, for WizK and Nick. Let's see what they can do moving forward here with the full Cyclone onto Meep. Are they going to be able to take down Nick? Large damage incoming. Here comes the Metamorphosis. MVQ looking to carry in terms of damage. Can they take him down? Kidney shot on Meep. Calvish is getting all the crowd control.
Oh, my God.
MVQ's getting all the damage. Void Shift comes in. WizK might be forced into dispersion there. Oh, my God! He's dead.
Dude, I looked away to see what the recount was to try and see if anyone was beating MVQ on damage, and then he just exploded. He just exploded. Oh my god, man. What? Okay, well, that's 1-6-0. Can he perfect the grand finals? Can he perfect it with 2 more in a row?
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. I don't know.
I think it's hilarious. I see people in the chat. They're like, "Yeah, these people just don't know how to deal with Calvish. We need some." They're like, "These are the best players. Like, these are some of the best players in the game." Like, if you don't think WizK, Nick, and MVQ know what's going on, you are clueless.
Played with Peekaboo for like 5 years or something. Yeah. He doesn't know how Rogue work, bro. He doesn't know. He just doesn't know, dude. He's just getting outplayed.
Nick, rank 1 every class in the entire game. Calvish is his main teammate. He's got no clue how to deal with a sub-rogue. It's just really funny. It just shows you, how good Calvish is, first of all, and also how he makes that sub-rogue work is just really, really strong.
Do you guys have any predictions? Super T's, I'll ask you first on that second DPS. If we put Calvish aside again.
What was the closest game? The closest game was
Shadow Priest, Demon Hunter. Yeah, really? Oh, yeah. I mean, that was definitely the closest. So Shadow Priest and Nick, which means it comes down to damage between WizK and Nick, and I think WizK was beating Nick. So if it's a tie, right? Because let's say Nick and WizK win together one time, and Calvish wins every other round, then it's a tiebreaker between Nick and WizK, and I think WizK might actually win in that situation. It's basically like they need to stop the Demon Hunter because the Demon Hunter, if it's a triple tie, is going to beat them on damage. So Nick and WizK have to win one of these rounds as Shadow Priest Moonkin.
We're going to a chaotic. I actually am really happy we're on Blade's Edge because I feel like we need a chaotic map. Like, in order for things to not go as planned, we have to go to a map that causes absolute chaos. So if Calvish has a chance of losing, it is going to be on a really crazy map like Blade's Edge Arena. I think it's the first time we've actually seen it so far in this tournament. Let's see how it does go. These players are in for a wild ride. We've done 6 rounds. We got what, 12 left? Quick map.
Yeah, I think 12 left, but this map
Yep.
is sketchy, bro. What this map is there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. Like if WizK gets some mind controls, maybe pulls people off the side of the bridge. There's some edges there. Typhoon as well. Oh, but Calvish is in the fight. He gets Nick out of stealth, gouges him, opens up on WizK with a kidney. MVQ is trying to get there and duck into the fight, but Tuna gets caught in a cheap shot. Are they swapping to Tuna? It's a double eye beam as Nick jumps up to the top side onto Meep. Nice triple fear from WizK. Nick and WizK can't let MVQ win. If Calvish wins every round, MVQ is going to win on damage. They need to team up together and win this. They're swapping to Meep. Big pressure onto the healer. Can they drop him in the opener? Doesn't look like it. He survives. Now Nick on the back foot, taking tons of damage. Tuna into the paralyze. Ring of Peace on this map from Meep is going to be a hard carry ability. Tuna gets swapped to. He's just almost dead. He has to trinket trank immediately on the damage from MVQ, and now Nick is the target. He's on the run, trying to get some distance. I want to see mind controls from WizK. They need to mind control players off the side of the bridge. If he doesn't use mind control, I don't know how they're going to win this.
Ooh, Calvish right now in a little bit of trouble. Trades out the Cloak of Shadows. That's one of his major defensives. So still has evasion, still has a cheat death. But Meep was able to comfortably sit through that crowd control chain. And of course, it does have that life cocoon where the opening is going to be a pre-disarm there onto Calvish. He gets dispelled out of that immediately as they look to get aggressive here onto WizK. Full kidney shot on Tuna. They're making a swap onto the Druid. Can they take him down?
Dead.
Cheap shot. And it is an absolute deletion. Calvish and MVQ, they strike back. Nicely done there. Good aggressive setup onto Tuna. And that was a tough one.
Okay, here we go. Now it's MVQ and Nick. But honestly, if you're Nick or WizK, you don't want to win with MVQ. Because then he's going to tie with you and you're going to lose on damage. You don't want to win with MVQ. You actually want to like stack up and only try and win when you're with each other, because otherwise you're going to lose the tiebreaker. So I don't know if they're aware of that or not. Like you don't want to win with MVQ if you're Nick or WizK. You absolutely do not, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose the money on damage. So like even if he wins this round, like it's just kind of shooting himself in the foot. Immediate crowd control, MVQ the target, cocoon instantly from Meep. Now he's getting swapped. Oh no, Meep, is he about to? Oh, darkness isn't enough. Void Torrent, WizK's free casting, mind controls the darkness, pulling him out of it. And those mind controls, WizK can win this lobby. If he abuses mind control, I think WizK can actually win this lobby. But he has to abuse it, like spam it the entire game.
Yeah, but then he loses on damage, so tough spot to be in.
Okay, when he's with Nick, he has to win with mind control, not when he's with MVQ.
Here we go, going after Tuna right now. Large and in charge damage. Tuna has to be very careful. Calvish gets caught into the crowd control. Meat Monk trying to shut him down. It goes for the Quaking Palm, but they do a setup here on a Meat Monk.
Oh,
Can
Calvish.
they take him down? Calvish now into a stun. And they get the cheat death, not able to just yet. Tuna has the heals. He's got the Heart of the Wild. He's in the backline in a great position to throw in heals and keep Calvish alive. Where are Calvish and WizK going to go? Well, right now, MVQ, he's got no trinket available, so they might be able to go after him. MVQ is going for a pre-blur, just trying to immune the setup as Meep is in crowd control. But if he gets caught into the stun, we see what happens. A full bash lands. Do they have the follow-up Cyclone? Doesn't look like it just yet. They are going to be going a little bit after Nick the Druid for the time being. Good pressure here by WizK and Calvish. Gets interrupted. Cyclone onto Meat Monk, but I think Nick has weathered the storm, and he will hold on.
Oh, big swap on Tuna. Trinket Trank instantly. Oh, he's playing the knockback immune. That was smart from Tuna with the Ring of Peace there, but he's going to lose the cooldown reduction. You kind of have to, though, against the Monk. No, the full clone window. Trinket WizK. Oh, Dispersion going to trade for him. Now cheap shot on MVQ. WizK's getting in position. Double fear. Nice setup. Big swap onto Nick, but Meep is an NCC. He actually kicks WizK on Shadow. They do get a clone now, but the sun locks over on Nick. He's going to be able to stabilize. Bashes Calvish. I think he's going to be able to get, maybe not. Another clone comes in from Tuna. Is this going to be the carry? WizK Void Torrent. They drop down a bomb defensively. And trying to, actually almost offensively on the Monk as opposed to on the Druid. He's silenced now. Barkskin's up and Bear. Is it going to be enough? MVQ's rolling up as well. Big pressure on Nick. He goes for a clone. Gets it onto WizK. Imprison on Calvish. Trying to swap back. Nick trinkets out immediately. He's into Bear form. He's shadowy dueled. Calvish can only see Nick, and Calvish is going for the kill just in time. The life cocoon comes out, but now they're swapping to MVQ. Is he just dead? Where is this damage, man? It's just endless from Calvish. He can just kill anybody on the team whenever he wants, it seems like, at any moment. Both teams have stabilized here. No trinket for Meat Monk. Definitely puts him behind, though, as Calvish is pre-evasioning, anticipating some damage, and Nick is just dying to damage. He's just outright. The kidney shot comes through, and that is it. Calvish is still tearing it up. 2 points in the second lobby. Who can stop Calvish?
At what point is he guaranteed to win? Like, we need to do some
think if you
math on that.
6-0 twice, right? If you 6-0 twice, you're guaranteed.
Yeah, you can't lose. Yeah, it's guaranteed. It might even be less than that.
It's probably less than that. It's probably like 2 rounds less than that, maybe. Yeah. I think right here he might be guaranteed first. Like he has 10, right? So,
well,
and the other two can only.
He has 8 at the
Yeah, but if
moment.
he wins the next 2, he'll be at 10, no?
Yeah, and then
I
I
think
don't
as soon as
think
you
it-
get 10, you're first. Because
Yeah.
the most anyone else can get is 8.
Yeah, I think so.
So the next 2, if he wins 2 more rounds, he wins. He's first.
The
He's
guarantee,
$3,000.
100%. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
in my brain, it's already 100%, but
It's probably
it'll be
18 now.
officially a win for Calvish.
Oh my god,
Just a
MVQ is almost in the opener again. Tuna bash peels. They're trying to punish Calvish. They stun lock him. Nice fear from WizK here. But again, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're WizK. If you win with the Demon Hunter and you tie with the Demon Hunter at the end, like, I mean, it's making an assumption that you don't win. Like, the result is the same for every other round, right? So you still probably want to play it out and put the best odds in your favor. But you probably want to win with Nick more than with MVQ. WizK almost dead. Has to trade Trinket, Desperate Prayer. Almost dying through it. Calvish is into a fear. They're playing bottom side. I don't know how this is going to play out for them, man. The clones, you can't line of sight. Oh, clone low there. Nice clone from Nick. WizK, he could just die right now. Tuna with no trinket. Bomb gets dropped. Darkness gets dropped. Is he going to die through it? Massive damage. MVQ just dead through the pre-dark. Just absolutely eradicated.
God.
Oh my
He wasn't
god,
even
man.
the target. Like,
One more round. One more round for Calvish, and he's getting $3,000. And then it's a battle for second.
Pre-dark should be okay. He's just like, he was just there for moral support. He came in for the darkness, and then Calvish was like, oh, hello, dead. Oh my god.
I pre-darked you, bro. You should be good. Wait, it's me? Oh my god. Shadow Priest, Rogue, Monk right here. Calvish is, this game right here determines it. $3,000 because nobody can catch up to 10 rounds. The most they can get is 8. And Calvish is just, he doesn't even care, man. He just started. He's not even stunning. He's just stacking right away onto MVQ. Here comes the cheap shot. Pre-disarm from Nick. Their line of sight. Look how scared Nick and Tuna are. They're just cowering behind them. MVQ's dead. He's just dead. He just walked away with $3,000 like it was nothing. Tuna and Nick were so terrified. They were just staying in the corner like, no, dude, I'm not going near the rogue, bro. I'm not going near the rogue, and MVQ just dies. Oh my god. Okay. This is a big one. Actually, yeah, this is a big one. This is where Nick and WizK, they can get into a tiebreaker between each other, which is going to be a lot closer than a tiebreaker with the Demon Hunter, I think. So they have to win a Shadow Priest Boomkin for second.
All right. I honestly just want Calvish to 18-0. That's. I think it could easily happen. I think it could easily happen. To be honest with you, we'll see what happens. It's fatiguing. I'm going to be honest. Like, mentally, it is fatiguing for these players to just lose to Calvish over and over and over and over and over again. You're just losing every single game. So they really got to step it up. Meat Monk right now getting swapped to. Cannot afford to make mistakes. Might just die in the opener right away. But note is looking like he's going to survive. Now WizK just dead out of nowhere as well. A large amount of pressure coming in here from Calvish once again. MVQ and Calvish is putting unbelievable damage out. They go after Meat Monk, get cooldowns. They go after WizK, get cooldowns. They go after Nick, get cooldowns. Where are they going to go next?
Oh, big pressure on the Meat Monk. This is huge. MVQ needs to win with Calvish if he wants that tiebreaker on damage to be the result for him to get second. WizK's just dead. Dispersion is forced right there. Nick gets cloned. WizK's Dispersion is doing nothing. He's not even top. Meep gets kicked. He's trying to port away. He's trying to kite, but Calvish is so fast. He's all over the place. They imprison Meep. They're swapping back to Nick. Void Torrent from WizK trying to pressure. There's no cloak. Can they take down Calvish? He's going to evasion. Clone comes through. He gets the clone on Tuna, but the bomb comes down. His cheap shot on his wild charge, and Calvish is going for the kill. Huge pressure incoming from MVQ. Can Meep deal with this damage? Tuna is moving in. He's getting offensive. Clones coming through. Stun onto Meep, and I think Nick is going to fall over. Heart of the Wild doesn't even matter. Frenzied regen as Meep comes out of the gouge. Nick gets cloned low by Tuna. Nice Cyclone, but now he's into the fear on Calvish, dispelling those dots, trying to fall behind. WizK, is he going to die here? He's got no disperse, massive damage. There's not even any CC, man. Meep is free healing. That's a Mistweaver. That's the highest healing throughput you have in the game. And WizK almost dies through it. He's cloned up. Cheap shot on Meep. Swap back onto Nick. He's got Heart of the Wild. He's got Barkskin, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. Calvish is just dominating.
Yeah. This is what happened the first solo shuffle tournament. This is happening in the second solo shuffle tournament. And this finals is just an absolute blowout here from Calvish. We've had literally some of the best players in the entire game from both regions all battle it out here. And it comes down to this final lobby. And it's Calvish just absolutely dominating here. Up, what is that? 11 wins in a row. He's won 11 wins in a row. Is this going to be his second lobby that he perfects?
All right. WizK, you can't lose here, man. Nick will get the edge. Like, this is a big deal. WizK has to win if he wants to keep staying in the running. Let's see what he can do here. We see Meep is the target. Oh my god. Is he going to die in the bash beam? Doesn't look like it. Double stun comes through for MVQ. Big pressure on the Tuna. MVQ is just risking the biscuit, man. He's just training the healer. He's like, yep, played Edge Arena. He can't really run away. He tries to pre-vengeful retreat the bash. Tuna doesn't fall for the bait, though. Holds onto it. Swap back onto Nick. Huge damage, actually. Are they actually going to do it? Nick's in a bit of trouble. Into bear form, trying to recover. I don't think he's going to make it. It's huge damage. He might just die. No way. They're doing it. They're so close. Ironbark Tranquility. They got to respect the pressure. Demon Hunter damage is definitely nothing to scoff at. Nick almost goes down. Tuna makes the save. Now WizK's in trouble. They need CC on Meep as soon as possible. Remember, he's running that Panda Monk, so they can Solar Beam him and then set up damage onto one of the DPS. Step into Gouge. Calvish is setting up. Where's the kidney? He's not going for the kidney out of the Gouge. A clone? No, he gets silence on the clone. Bomb! He edges the bomb. Oh my god, Meep rolls into it. They drop the darkness as well, and I think that darkness should be enough. Nice imprisoned, nice stun, but he pre-bears. Nick in bear form with Heart of the Wild, I think, should be okay. He's looking for clones. He fakes the kick. No, Tuna gets knocked off the side. MVP Meep! MVP Meep! He's going in for it, and he does it. Calvish gets denied on the 6.
You love to see it. You really do. I mean, that's huge for WizK, MVQ, and Meep. They're the only people to actually beat Calvish so far, and that puts them in a really good position. Keep in mind, I mean, there is $1,000 on the line for the healer that gets second place, or that gets first place, pardon me, and Meat Monk so far is the healer to do it. And if they can do that again, like if we can see either WizK, if we can see one of these other DPS that just won, pick up another win, they're going to be in a really good spot for that second place as well. Because we did mention at the beginning, 2 of these DPS walk away with literally nothing. Calvish is guaranteed first place at this point. Everyone else is battling it out for second, and it's going to come down to this final lobby.
Yeah, that's really tough. Congrats to Calvish will be coming, but not yet. Let's put him aside again for the 7th time this stream. Calvish is in a great spot. We've highlighted him. I asked you before the break, before that game, and after seeing that game, Venruki, who do we think's coming out on top? Do you think it's coming down to a tiebreaker? Do you think one DPS has the edge? Do we know who has the slight edge right now?
Sure. If it's a tiebreaker between Demon Hunter and anyone else, Demon Hunter's winning this.
Yeah, but can someone else win? Like, is it possible that WizK actually wins with Nick? That is possible. If we go to a large map, it's possible, right?
But then it's the tiebreaker again, right? He has to win twice with Nick for MVQ to be out. If he let's say he wins with Nick and then loses with MVQ, right? Or you're saying if he wins with Nick and he wins with MVQ, he can win on wins.
No, if WizK in this next, let's say Calvish gets another 5, and the only game that Calvish loses is Nick and WizK together, then that means WizK has more wins.
WizK will win, yes. But if WizK wins with MVQ, then MVQ is going to win.
Yeah, so he has to lose with MVQ and win with Nick.
He has to lose with MVQ if he wants to win.
It's kind of weird, but that's kind of what has to happen. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Meep seems like he has a commanding lead, but in the solo shuffle, anything can happen. I'd love to see some Calvish upsets, okay?
Ooh.
But I don't know if we will. Okay, this arena maybe? Do you think
it's the best chance he's got to win it?
Is this the chance?
This is the sandbox. We're here in Tolvaron. I mean, this is a good opportunity for the Wizards to kind of step up. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for Calvish to maybe connect to his targets. They're going to be able to create a little bit more space, stand away so he can't get the stun locks on everybody as easily. But I still think it's going to be a really, really tough one. We'll see. If WizK wants to win this, he's got to win with Nick.
Bro, he has to throw, though. He has to lose this round.
Not necessarily, no, because he at any point, he just has to win with Nick. If WizK wins with Nick a single round, then he wins.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's all that matters. Even if he wins with MVQ, whatever. He just has to win with Nick. If
he has
WizK
to win with Nick
win.
one time.
Yeah.
Are we sure about? Yeah, because then Nick is tied with MVQ, right?
Yep.
And then WizK would be in the lead. Yeah, so WizK has to win with Nick if he wants second.
WizK cannot lose with Calvish, and he has to win with Nick, and that's his condition to win.
We really think he's going to lose with Calvish? I don't. I don't see that happening here, but here we go. The game's going to start. Calvish steps in, gets a sap on the priest, cheap shot on MVQ. Immediate cooldown pop by Calvish, man. He's trying to style there. He's not getting the perfect 18-0, though, but he's going to try and win as many as he can as he's swapping over to WizK, clone on MVQ, paralyzed onto Tuna, into a clone. Nice setup by Nick here. Now they swap back to WizK. He's locked, I think, potentially on Shadow. Did he fake the Solar Beam? He faked it. He's got Dispersion traded here, so he's going to be able to survive the opening stages with that. He's trying to chase down Meep. Meep ports away from the fear. Nice port. Now he's stunned, though. Nice bomb comes in. He's got no Disperse. He's out. Oh my god, he explodes. He tried to get the double fear, but Nick was just blasting.
All right. A quick win there for Nick and Calvish. WizK is going to fall very early on. Now we're going to have to see if WizK can win here with Calvish. And if he can do that, that's great. Another thing to keep in mind in terms of healers is Tuna is going to have to win 4. Right?
If MVQ wins this, he wins, right? And if assuming Calvish wins every other round. So MVQ also could be. If he wins
exactly.
With Nick.
If MVQ can
whoever wins with Nick.
Yeah. It's all about winning with Nick. Exactly. And it's possible, right? We got a big map. It's Demon Hunter Moonkin. It's possible. Unlikely, but possible.
It's a monk healer and a Shadow Priest Rogue. I don't know if it's gonna go too well. Nice plays by MVQ there. He pre-immunes the cheap shot and gets an imprisoned fear during the sap. Now he's trying to get aggressive. I think he pre-blurred there. He's got feared on it. Oh no, Calvish sees Nick and he's immediately in bear form. He's like, I know what's happening here. That's a Psy-Fiend though. WizK, he's respect. Is he dead in the open? Or he might just be. It's massive damage. Bomb comes down. Is he gonna die through bare heart and skin? He gets in line of sight of Meep. Now Meep into the cheap. Is he gonna keep him going? Into the gouge now. Calvish trinkets offensively. He's got to stop this clone. If he gets faked, he got faked on the kick. Nice play from Nick here, but he's not able to get the clone anyways. As Calvish looks like he's able to avoid it. He's not even going for it. They're swapping back to Calvish, trying to punish that trinket, but that's going to leave WizK open, and that Psy-Fiend is a big threat. Oh, but they knock Calvish into the open. Can they find the kill here? Kidney shot on MVQ. He's falling low. He gets cloned instantly on that life cocoon as they were anticipating it. Now they're setting up on Nick. Pre-darkness gets dropped down from MVQ, as that's a nice play there. Nice sweep from Meep. Is he going to be the MVP this time around? He's 1 point ahead, so if Calvish wins every single round, Meep is going to take this, but he'd like to put himself in a safer spot. But he actually gets caught in a sap by Calvish, and now Nick is in trouble. His Heart of the Wild has subsided. He's got no defense. WizK is chasing him down for the kill. WizK is all over Nick right now. MVQ stuns WizK, pausing the fight for a moment. Mind control at low health. Meep trinkets. That mind control is still sitting for a moment now. Nick is free, trying to go for clones. Calvish steps over. He misses the kick. Calvish fakes the step kick there. Sorry, Meep fakes the step kick of Calvish. Nice fake out there. He's going to be able to free cast heals. Clone on Tuna, but an evasion from Calvish, and he should be okay with that. So what's the win condition right now? They still got trinkets. Honestly, MVQ's in a good position to possibly win this.
Yeah, let's see if we can do it. Kidney shot right now onto Meep. They're going after Nick. It's a full Cyclone 3 versus 1 situation, and Calvish is getting aggressive. They are all over this poor bear. Nick, what are you going to do? He's trying to run away. He gets the full Cyclone on Calvish, but WizK is still there with the damage. Can they take him down? Meat Monk gets caught into a bash, into another Cyclone. I think Nick has weathered the storm. He's managed to survive. Silence on Meep. Can they do it? Can Nick and MVQ actually pull off a win here? WizK's under fire. He goes into dispersion. If MVQ can win this game, it's going to be massive, but Smoke Bomb comes down. Meat Monk saves the day once again with a leg sweep into a full life cocoon. Beautiful plays coming in from Team 2.
Okay, let's see if they can pull this off here. They've got MVQ's trinket, but no dark. They've got fear, so they can maybe do like a stun fear peel. He Cloak of Shadows. He's going all in right now. Calvish, is he going to pop the shadowy duel and just go for the kill? He could. I was surprised that he didn't. Kidney shot popped here. Looking to connect some damage. Gets bashed away. MVQ into the clone. Calvish gets disarmed. He is going to get dispelled on that. Into the gouge. I think, oh no, I think Nick is dead here. There's no trinket breakers. There's not a lot left for him. And Nick will go down. And we still got a running here. Whoever can win with Nick, whether it's WizK or MVQ, will get seconds. If nobody can win with Nick, MVQ is going to win on damage.
This is absolutely insane. I mean, there's still a lot of rounds left, right? There's still 4 rounds left. Anything can really happen, but
actually, the damage is pretty close. I just opened details that last round. It's like maybe 500,000 damage between MVQ and WizK.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be
maybe the
close.
damage tie is close.
If Moonkin and Shadow Priest definitely do a decent amount of damage. There's no doubt about that. But this is an opportunity here for Nick and WizK. I think this big map might be difficult with the Mistweaver Monk, but I could see it. If they could make a lot of space, maybe they can actually win this round. We'll see. There's a really close game on Mugambala here. Calvish opening up early on. WizK is just going to immediately trinket and go for the double fear, try to get some momentum for his team. Double leg sweep coming in here from Meat Monk. Nicely done, using the Ring of Peace as well to area deny. MVQ does not care about that whatsoever. He flips over with Metamorphosis, just getting the damage rolling, and they are cleaving them down.
Oh my god, this might be a triple kill here. Nice in-cap roar. Nick is playing in-cap and not bash? That seems really odd. I mean, you have no stun. Like, it's leg sweep. That's it. I don't like that play from Nick. And I mean, this is the round that WizK needs to win if he's going to pull ahead of MVQ. And oh no, the full blind into a sap, and Nick might just be dead through Heart of the Wild. Massive pressure, sap the trinket into the clone. Void Shift comes through 1 second before the bash. But even with that, even still, they drop the bomb. They're still killing him. Revival has to come through the smoke bomb, and they have traded everything but the kitchen sink to keep Nick alive, and they have zero pressure. What is their chance here? A leg sweep on Calvish, but they're just dead. They're not even going to make it to that point. Nick is on the run. WizK needs this. Can he keep Nick alive? He's into the clone. Nick is at 5%, ring of peace. He's trying to knock Calvish away, but he's all over him somehow, some way. Meep gets the life cocoon. They have to sweep Calvish with the leg, but no, he's not even land the sweep on him. He sweeps MVQ. Their only chance to win there was sweeping Calvish with no trinket. Maybe not. Damage is high. MVQ is going to retreat away for a moment. Calvish is moving in, gets disarmed on the kidney shot. Nick's going to jump into bear form. Imprisoned on WizK breaks early. Calvish steps over. Cheap shot in bear. Can he actually kill him through bear form? There's no way, right? There's no way they're killing him this go. Meep isn't even CC'd. Nick is going to survive. This is a startling start for WizK, but if he can win with Nick, he's going to get second place. It's $2,000, man. This one round could earn him $2,000 if he can win, but they're so far behind.
It might be a dispersion. No, Meep just bombing in heals with that soothing mist. That's going to be enough for WizK to survive. A full fear lands on Tuna, but they're going after Nick again. It's a hunt, a beautiful grip there by WizK, doing what he can to keep his team in the fight. There's no void shift. A full cyclone lands. Nick is in so much trouble. He's got the renewal available if he needs it at the same time. Calvish taking a lot of damage. Cloak of Shadows trades, and they're just going for an all-in. Nick is in so much trouble, just hovering in bear form, praying, living on a dream, trying what he can to survive. Meat Monk has the life cocoon in just a few short seconds, but I don't know if he's going to have the
2
time.
seconds. 1 second
on the life cocoon. He's got to trade it out. Oh, is he going to land it? He does. The full
Incarn.
blind.
No
And
cloak.
this is
He
the
locked the healer.
incarnation. Huge damage. They might be able to do it.
Oh my god, the double sweep, the ring of peace out of the darkness, Meep MVP round 2, but WizK DC'd! He DC'd!
My
He
God.
DC'd on the setup that was gonna win the game! No one had a trinket! No one had a trinket! Meep got the ROP on the dark and he DC'd! It's $2,000 on one round, man! I don't think Nick can stay alive. He's gonna get gunned down. MVQ is not gonna let that go away. Oh my god! That was the setup! They had everything right there!
That is heartbreaking.
He has
for
one more
WizK.
chance, though, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But that is tough. There's no guarantees he would have won in that situation, but DCing definitely guarantees you're not going to win. So that is really, really tough for WizK. I think he had a hell of a game, too. That was a really, really good game there from Nick, WizK, and Meep. There was some good opportunities to win. Hopefully, WizK is able to get back into the game. I think it might have been a DC from Ring of Pete. What was it that actually DC'd him there? Some sort of movement DC, I think. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. WizK is now going to be partnering up here with Calvish, and that does mean that MVQ has a chance to pull off a win. If MVQ and Nick can win, they might be able to do it. But a beautiful setup early on. Paralyzed here on Tuna. Cheap shot onto MVQ. He trinkets already. Nick and MVQ have already trinketed. This is an absolute nightmare.
I feel like Nick is trolling. He switched in-cap roar. I swear it's not good. I swear it's not good. It breaks on dot damage. Like, it doesn't remove dots. He played it last round, and I mean, they almost won, but I don't think it's because of the in cap. And he's playing it again here with MVQ. Maybe it's a little bit less bad here because the Demon Hunter can carry your stuns, but he needs to play Bash when he's playing with WizK in the last round. There's no chance. Oh, Darkness, pre-Darkness, but I think they're going to kill Tuna. He's got pre-Heart of the Wild. Is Calvish going to go for it? He gouges Tuna. WizK's moving in. Kidney on MVQ. He edges the bomb. Oh, no. He got paralyzed on his trinket by Meep. Meep is carrying, bro. That insta-para on the trinket. He couldn't get to the bomb. MVQ goes down. And now right here, I mean, if WizK wins, it's still a tie between the two of them. WizK has to win the last round to win this tournament. And if WizK doesn't, or get second, and if WizK doesn't win the last round, he's going to lose on damage. I think, actually, let's look at the damage and make sure. I mean, he's second consistently.
Yeah, healer side. If Meep wins this, it's over. Like, if Meep can win this round, he puts himself in a position where I think he is going to walk away with a win. So, big game here for Meep. This is his first place potentially on the line. Of course, Tuna, if he does come in second, has already won money. But the DPS, I just wonder which one of these DPS is going to be able to pull off a win. I kind of hope it doesn't come down to damage, honestly, and somebody is actually able to beat Calvish here.
Oh, he's moving in. No sap, it looks like. He gets the sap. Oh, that's devastating. Cheap shot on MVQ. He pre-feared on himself to try and pre-fear the cheap shot. Doesn't hit it. Swap to WizK. Solar Beam on the healer. Massive damage. Could be a dispersion. They're disrespecting if they don't trade. Dispersion comes through. Look at these clones, man. Everyone's in a clone right now. Double Druid. Clone City, baby. And that dispersion has been forced. Now he's a liability with limited defense. They stun Calvish in desperation, trying to turn this around. Dots are loaded out. MVQ is charging in. If MVQ and WizK win this and WizK doesn't win the last round, MVQ, I'm sure, is going to win on damage. He's just consistently number one for that tiebreaker situation. And it looks like they might be able to beat this. And Tuna will be knocked out of the running. We're out to see how a tiebreaker works. Oh no, Tuna might just be knocked out of the running. There's $1,000 difference between him and Meep right now, possibly on the line here. Full fear onto Tuna. Darkness comes down, but MVQ, oh, does it matter? Kidney shot, is he going to die through it? Doesn't look like it. He's not getting incredibly unlucky this time. Calvish, the punish, no trinket. Is he going to go down? Doesn't look like it. They're setting up on WizK, no dark. Meep in trouble. He needs to drop that cocoon. He's got the cocoon. Where's the cocoon? Oh my God, man. I mean, it is intense round after round after round after round, but a mistake like that, it's giving Tuna a chance. Tuna might be able to tie. And how is a healer tiebreaker? Is it overall healing?
I have no idea. I don't even want to think about that right now. The only this is the most interesting thing for me. If WizK wins this round, he is the second place finish. So I think the biggest thing here is if Tuna, Nick, and WizK can win, then all of a sudden we have a weird healer tie going on, and also WizK is going to be the second place finish. So this is a very important round. So far, Calvish, he has won 16, right? He's at 16.
Yep, he's going to be 17 maybe.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Nick and Tuna in stealth. They're letting the Shadow Priest tank the opener. Fear onto the Rogue, but he wanted to hit the Monk, I think. Who are they going to go? Kidney onto Tuna. They're going to kill the healer in the opener. Massive damage onto Tuna. If Tuna can win this round, he's going to possibly bring it to a tiebreaker, maybe give himself an extra $1,000, but they're really putting up the pressure. Meep is in with his team, getting ready for a double sweep if they need it. He's got the efflorescence down, healing the whole team. I really don't like playing on the pillar right now. I feel like they're going to be able to line of sight their casts. I really think they need to pull away from this. They do actually get a clone on Meep. Big opportunity for WizK to potentially secure second place if they can continue the CC chain. They drop the incarnation. Fear on the smoke bomb. Nice play from WizK, but it doesn't matter. They're just all dead. They're just all dead. And Meep is going to be your healer champion for the Void.gg 10K tournament. And we're going to have to go down to a tiebreaker here for MVQ and WizK. Who topped damage in 3 rounds of shuffle?
I think it's MVQ, but I mean, let's just talk about the grand finals. 3 different lobbies. Calvish perfected 2 of them. He only lost 1 of the 18 games. That is unbelievable. Like really, really, truly unbelievable.
Yeah, do you think, like, you can't look at if there was missing an ability, but I swear we saw time and time again the smoke bomb just being too difficult for anybody to deal with. Do you think that is the case? It's just that no trinket, solo shuffle is making it more chaotic. The comps are a little bit different, and Supatis, when you have that smoke bomb, we heard Venruki saying they're edging the smoke bomb again, and it just seemed like that's where he landed his kills every time.
Yeah, I mean, playing around the trinkets, playing around any AoE cooldowns. I mean, Calvish knows exactly his win condition, and he's just nailing it game after game after game after game, right? You got to, like, visualize your line to victory, and he just knows exactly what to do. And he's just immediately knows what the next fastest line if someone puts up a block, and just runs down that line. And that's what it is, right? It's like the reaction time and being able to shift your strategy on the fly that's enabling him to do this much domination.
Absolutely. And then on the healer side, the healers are both taking home the money, but of course want to be shining. We see Meat Monk most likely chat, just everybody at home. Void.gg is crunching the numbers and bringing the final data. So what we say isn't the final decision yet, but it looks like from what we've seen, Venruki, that Meat Monk, I think the only ranged healing Mistweaver, I think there was one Fistweaver, but the only range healing Mistweaver really showing out, and not just healing, but bringing a ton of utility. And you said it, he trinkets, he gets the healer's trinket with the paralyze, he's ropping everything. Meat Monk really showing why Mistweaver is strong, and perhaps maybe a little underrated, because I'm not hearing a lot about Mistweavers from the range side, just the Fistweaver.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't sell out, right? Like when Fistweaver was the flavor of the month, he kind of stuck to his guns, and it paid off for him. He was training in High Gravity Season 2 on that range Mistweaver Monk, and now he's going to be walking away with a win. I also thought it's interesting because there's not, I mean, truth be told, there's not a lot of young blood that gets into World of Warcraft Arena, and it's really cool to see that both Meat Monk, who I believe is the youngest healer, how old is Meep? Like 14, 15 years old, something like that? And Calvish, 17. Young. We got the 2 youngest people, I believe, in the tournament that actually walked away with a win. So I think that's really cool.
You know what? I'd have to absolutely agree. I think like one of the tough things is how do younger kids, young adults get into World of Warcraft. It's harder to get a PC. It's harder to jump into the game. So, I want to re-highlight what you're highlighting. I love to hear that younger players are diving into the game. And selfishly, I love to hear that they're PvP mains because that's what I've been doing. I know that's what you guys are doing, and the majority in the chat is a PvP main. So huge shout out to anybody who's younger getting into the game. Make sure you help get your friends in because we need more people coming to PvP. Supatis, we mentioned it earlier throughout the time here, and I know you're a Boomkin main yourself, that we really thought the Boomkin had a really good shot. Nick was coming in here. We talked about how he got rank 1 in every single class he was dominating. Do you think that this lobby was what was tough for him? Or was it just, you know, this time on Boomkin was finally running thin because we've finally seen some other classes synergizing instead of just the Boomkin with that really good CC that it has?
Well, I'm really happy that I got to see one of the Boomkins in a WizK lobby because when I competed, I got WizK in all of my rounds, I think, or at least 2 out of the 3. It feels really hard. Like Shadow Priest Boomkin is not like a spectacular comp, so winning as that is going to be really rough. And then also if the Shadow Priest is running Side Fiend, it's really tough to survive as well in Shuffle with how fast dampening gets up. So I feel like this was honestly a tough lobby as Boomkin. I think it's a winnable lobby, but it's really tough. And it's probably more winnable if you're not in voice. So like if you're playing on the ladder, like Moonkin probably wins this. But when you're in voice and you're fully coordinated with the rogue, it's going to be like a completely different game.
Absolutely. And I do think, sorry, go ahead, Ven.
I was gonna say, has Calvish lost a single lobby in any, like in all the tournaments, solo shuffle tournaments we've seen? I think he's literally won every lobby he's played.
What do you think would shut him down? Like, what do you think we maybe need to bring into these tournaments to shut down the sub-rogue? More H-Pals you guys talked about? Or
honestly, what we need is pre-nerfed Ret Paladins. Like, if we want to see what Calvish lives, we got to bring back the old gods. We got to unnerf Ret Paladins and unleash the beast.
I'm sure Vanguards would love that. He was in the tournament. He was dominating. Just missed the cut.
Vanguard's eyes just like,
yeah.
Yes, Ben. Yes, Ben.
We do have the final standings, so let me just take us over there. Before I do, guys, we had one last $100 Amazon gift card to give away. So Void.gg, Mora Turks, I personally don't know who you are, but I'm going to spam it in the chat, has won our $100 gift card giveaway for himself for the holidays, maybe for himself or his family. And if we head over here to the leaderboards and we scroll down, we're going to see here that Kelvish with 17 points, and we're getting a notification here that MVQ was second, but it was because of his placements, not his damage. So it came down to MVQ having higher placements in the Solo Shuffle tournament or games earlier today. So Venruki, the finals are here. Kelvish was 17, MVQ was 7, Meat Monk with 10, and Tuna with 8. Any final thoughts on the shuffle here?
I mean, honestly, I feel like this is an awesome tournament to see. I think Calvish going into this was kind of the favorite to win, and it's curious. I mean, it's not curious, but it's cool to see him kind of continue that domination. I think if we do another one of these, I would love to see if anyone can kind of contest him. And I also, you know, maybe Nick the Rogue will go back to playing Rogue, you know, get off the Moonkin and try to contest Calvish a little bit on that Subtlety Rogue. I think that could be interesting. I think Meat Monk winning is a giant surprise. I mean, you have to go through the list of healers that signed up to this tournament. I mean, you've got Kearney, Tuna, Chaz, you know, Flux, Crusader, Whaler, Foxy Llama, Corey, Rayner, JT. It's a lot of really good healers, like some of the best healers in the game. And I think going into this tournament, not a lot of people would have expected Meat Monk to actually win. So the fact that he was able to do it against all odds, I think is really cool. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great feedback. I think Meep really showed out. And of course, we'd love to see somebody come out and stop Calvish. As much as we love seeing someone dominate, I think everybody's itching for somebody to maybe come in and take that place or try to knock the sub-rogue, not necessarily Calvish, down a couple notches. Any final thoughts for the tournament from you, Supatis?
I mean, I was just really impressed with the gameplay. We saw a lot more specs this time around, and now there's more changes coming in on Tuesday as well. So the possibilities for the future are looking very exciting. I feel like almost everybody did put on an insane performance. This is like one of the best tournaments as far as like gameplay goes in a while. I feel like it was insane. Like every single lobby just felt like everybody was breaking out all the stops. I actually really like the shuffle format. I'm almost leaning to the side of this should be like the predominant format. I'm sure the players, some of them would disagree with that maybe heavily, but I really like the way that it plays out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, yeah, one last time we want to give a huge shout out to Calvish holding it down for first place. And for Meat Monk holding it down for first place. MVQ and Tuna still securing arguably a bag. You know, the second place chat, the Void.gg Solo Shuffle was $10,000 split amongst this four. So Calvish and Meep have the bragging rights of number one, but I'm sure MVQ and Tuna are going to be doing just fine as well. WizK and Nick the Rogue coming extremely close, and we want to thank everybody who participated from the Sunday Championship Finals to yesterday's Saturday matches. All the players coming out, being so cooperative, getting out there, dominating. We love to see it. We love to have such great players. I've been watching in the Twitch chat all weekend, people shouting out that their favorite streamers, their favorite players of the class that they connect with, and it's really cool to see the PvP community coming together. And a lot of players who maybe don't play with other players as often, schedules are busy, they have no need to, they have their set group of friends. It's really cool to see them getting together to put on an awesome tournament for you guys. So with that being said, chat, that's going to conclude our Sunday Solo Shuffle tournament. Supatees, let everybody in the chat know where they can find you. We appreciate you. You were dominating on casting this week. I think I saw the chat blowing up every time you were telling them to throw at the kitchen sink. All the metaphors, dude. Your casting was awesome. Let everybody know where, when Void.gg stream ends, they can come find you.
Yeah, I mean, twitch.tv/Supatees. I mean, I'm in the chat. If you want to click the name and click the follow button, I would appreciate the support. Thank you guys for having me. It's always fun and awesome. I'm really thankful that you guys are here supporting this and giving the players an opportunity to showcase their ability. I know a lot of the hype is on Classic and SOD at the moment, but I feel like Arena gameplay is always going to have like a special place in my heart. So it's nice to see it get some love.
We're retail Andes at heart. Like, let's
yes. I absolutely agree. Venruki, you had the nice train conductor hat yesterday that everybody was loving. You've been a huge help to the tournament and casting and keeping everybody knowledgeable in the chat. Let the chat know in case for some reason they don't, where they can come watch you when the stream's over.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Venruki, youtube.com/Venruki, streaming every single day, uploading almost every single day. So if you guys want to hang out with me, you're more than welcome. I just want to give a big shout out to Supatees as well as Torpid for being here today. I think they did an awesome job. Torpid, you were owning, hosting, and Supatees, as always, the GOAT caster. So yeah, it's a pleasure to work with you. Everybody that watched, all the players, yeah, it's really nice to have this arena tournament. Like you said, there's a lot of hype on Season of Discovery right now, but I think a lot of us, we love the arena, always will, always have, always will. And yeah, it's going to be awesome to see hopefully more of these tournaments be put on.
No, absolutely. We appreciate you coming, and I appreciate the compliments. I want to sort of pay that forward again. Supatees has been awesome. Venruki has been awesome. The Void.gg team behind the scenes, making everything run smoothly, has been awesome. And then the players getting involved with everybody at home or wherever you guys are watching, blowing up the chat. We love you guys, and I want one thing to be clear. My name is Torpid. I'm the host of the Void.gg tournaments, and I agree with Ven and Super. I personally am a huge retail Andy. I love the action-packed speed, but I want it to be clear. You guys need to follow the Void.gg Twitch channel because they will be doing a Season of Discovery PvP tournament as well as more retail tournaments. So I'll leave you with that. Congratulations to our first place winners, Calvish and Meep. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And remember, guys, make sure you enter the Void.